If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. My bad, my bad. Is everybody good now? Everybody good? I apologize. Man, that's a rough one. But you should be able to hear me now. I appreciate it. Thanks for the heads up, Edward. Thank you. Thank you. Basically was just saying, the normal opening spiel. You know what time it is. Just excited to bring the show to you tonight, have some good content, some good topics. I was also saying that for those of you who haven't already, make sure you hit the like and subscribe on YouTube. And also, if it's something you feel like doing, join the channel. Got some a couple of good members only episodes I've produced already, and working on something else special coming out. So can't wait to deliver that to you guys. Very excited about it. So yeah, we'll go from there. But you know what? Let's go ahead. We're already about 5 minutes in. Let's go ahead and get it started. So I got a couple of quick hit topics as always. And first quick hit I want to discuss is this. Kevin Durant. We look at him and we see this is a guy who is arguably, yeah, whatever. No, Kevin Durant, this is a guy who we see as, a lot of people see as maybe a top 10 to 15 player in NBA history. I don't know where I really rank him. I haven't really looked at my rankings past the top 10. So I'm not sure where he would kind of fall for me. Maybe somewhere between 15 and 20, I think is probably fair. Maybe he might be able to get between 10 and 15. But the point is, last night he scored his 30,000th point in the NBA against the Memphis Grizzlies. And that is a heck of a milestone. Very few players have done that. I think he's now the 8th all-time leading scorer in the history of the game. So shouts to Kevin Durant. Credit for that. Big accomplishment. I don't know, for a guy who's done so much in this game, right? He's been an MVP. He's been a 2-time finals MVP. He has, again, also a top 10 scorer. He's been around a long time. He's gotten busy. Career 27.3 points per game scoring average. Career 39% from three, 50% from the field. So very efficient guy from the field. So it is, here we go. I definitely put him ahead of Giannis. Steph, that's interesting. I think you could make a fair argument for him being ahead of Steph. I know there's a lot of people out there, and I don't want to get too into the weeds with this. There's a lot of people out there who actually say this nonsense that Steph is a top 10 player all time. I've heard some say that Steph is the best point guard of all time. I'm like, it's recency bias. And of course, the people who say that for the most part obviously have only seen one generation of NBA basketball. So like those people aren't necessarily to be taken too seriously. But yeah, so Kevin Durant, he is widely regarded as one of the best players of all time. He's easily a top 5 player all time at his position, small forward. So where I'm iffy, though, I look at this a couple of ways, right? Again, I always take into account, and Transformer and I think we both agree on this, that when we look at these all-time stuff, especially in the NBA, when it comes to that, I think what happens is you really, and we both agreed on this, you really need to split it up by era, right? Because the rules and the style of play is so different that it's almost impossible to fairly compare guys across the different eras, right? Because I think if you ask me, there's no way Kevin Durant is better than Larry Bird, but I'm sure a lot of the younger fans would say that he's better than Larry Bird, which is absurd. But that's a different thing entirely, right? But the game was so different back then, right? He probably couldn't handle the game back then, whereas Bird could handle the game now. So it's, the rules were different. The way guys played was different. The defense, so on and so forth, the physicality, all that stuff could totally change what you could and couldn't do, right? The way the game was called, et cetera. So all those things would very much change your productivity, your production, right? Your productivity. And so I think that that's something we need to take into account. But at the end of the day, I'm not trying to have a segment that's indicting what Kevin Durant has done. I'm trying to give him shouts and say that 30,000 points in a career, that's no easy feat. So got to give him props for that. Averaging 27 plus points per game for an entire career, that's no easy feat. Got to give him props for that. So he has done his thing. And again, he's a 2-time champion. He's a 2-time finals MVP. He's a regular season MVP. He's done a lot, right? He's 4-time scoring champion, 11 times All-NBA, Rookie of the Year, 75th anniversary team, always 2-time All-Star MVP, All-Rookie. There's not a lot that he hasn't done. So give the guy his props. 30,000 career points. Heck of an accomplishment. All right. That's quick hit number 1. Quick hit number 2. So I believe it was last week, the trade that shook the world. That we, and we'll get into this later on that 4th topic, but the trade that shook the world, obviously, Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis and some other parts. Obviously, Luka is born and bred in the Dallas Mavericks organization, obviously not actually born in America, right? He's Slovenian. But when we say born and bred, we mean in his NBA career. He's born and bred in the Dallas Mavericks organization. He felt like he would probably have been there his whole career if he had any say about it. I think I heard that he had just closed on a house in Texas. So that was a tough spot to be in when he found out about the trade. So you have all that going on. You have him just having recently, between he and Kyrie, really being the 2 key guys and carrying the Dallas Mavericks to the NBA Finals last season. So Luka's done a lot. 5-time straight first-team All-NBA. I think he's got like a career 28 points per game scoring average. So Luka has done a lot in this league. But then, Dallas figured it would probably be the better move for them financially and however else they want to go about it to trade Luka to the Lakers and get back Anthony Davis and so on and so forth. And I'm sure there's some other things going on in the background of that, but they decided that that's what they want to do. And as it looks, that hasn't worked out so well. And again, we'll get into that in the final topic of the night. But the bigger quick hit is this. Because of that trade, which we know came from higher, GM of the Dallas Mavericks, Nico Harrison, is now receiving death threats. He had to get security outside his home, etc. And I think that's absolutely ridiculous. The fact, I know fan is short for fanatic. I say it all the time. I know fan is short for fanatic. But when you're sitting here and you're telling me, right, that because my favorite player got traded from an organization and I didn't like the trade, you're telling me that I am going to threaten this guy's life? Like, I'm willing to go to jail, lose my life because a player that I like got traded away? Like, I don't understand what's wrong with some of these people out here. Again, fan is short for fanatic, and fanatics usually, I don't know if they're not too intelligent. I don't know what's wrong with their mental and psychological processes. But listen, if you watch this show, y'all know I love Notre Dame football, like with everything I got. Y'all know I love Boston Celtics basketball. Y'all know I love Baltimore Ravens football. There is nothing those organizations could do that is going to have me giving death threats or doing some type of nonsense and getting locked up over him. I'm sorry. Like, it's not that serious. We can't be for real here. People are actually threatening Nico Harrison with death. My question would be, had Luka not gotten traded, let's say he didn't get traded and he eventually leads Dallas to a championship, how does that really change your life? If you're not a member of that organization, how does that change your life to the point that because he got traded and you're a big fan, you're threatening the GM with death? Like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard. I can't for the life of me figure out why some of these people behave the way they behave, man. It's confounding. It's nonsensical. It's disturbing. And man, I don't know. But I know that if I'm Nico Harrison or if I'm the Dallas Mavericks and I find out who these fans are and I can track them, I'm whatever is the maximum charges that can be pressed, I'm pressing those charges. Like, y'all listen, I'm gonna come out and say it. Like, I know as a journalist, it's unprofessional to call names, but anybody who would do that is a real loser who has nothing else in their life. That is pathetic, and you are a loser if you would threaten to kill a general manager of your team because he traded a player you're a fan of. Plain and simple. That's just ridiculous. That's all. That's all. All right. Those are my quick hits. Funny how quick hits go a lot faster when Transformers not here. Man, he and I, we get into this stuff. Cordell Ingram, what's going on? What's going on? I don't think I've seen you before. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, man. Appreciate you. Debate over. So I guess you're responding to the thumbnail for the main topic of this show. Mahomes is 29 with 3 rings. Let's talk when he's 25. Whatever age Brady retired at. I don't know that he's, and we'll get to this later, but I don't know that Mahomes is going to play that long. And I think there's also a lot of other factors at play, Andy Reid, et cetera. But we'll get there. We'll get there. But yeah, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get to the first topic, y'all. Is it over for Aaron Rodgers? Wow. That's the question. That is the question. So this is very interesting. Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. Most people see him that way. He has been for his entire career just a phenomenal player, a guy who can make every throw. Well, in his prime, could make every throw. He had the arm talent. He had the mobility. He had the intelligence. I mean, he could just do it all. He was special. But I think a lot of people look at it, and we did a segment a couple of weeks ago saying, was Aaron Rodgers' career a disappointment? Because for all the talent that he had, 4-time league MVP, I believe he's top 10 in touchdown passes, top 10 in passing yards, etc. Now, we also, if I do it for the NBA, I have to do it for the NFL. We also have to take into account the rules changes, right? The rules changes make it a lot easier for quarterbacks and receivers to put up these absurd numbers nowadays, as well as pass rushers and defensive backs, right? Because it's simply just a much higher volume of passes being thrown, right? Because it's a very pass-happy league. Although we just saw the team that won the championship on Sunday. How did they do it? They did it with defense and they did it with running the football. But anyway, that's a whole different topic. The point I'm trying to make is, let's see. Edward, rumor has it he's trying to come to Pittsburgh. My opinion in Rob Parker voice. No way, no how. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Rob Parker's one of my favorites. I don't always agree with him, but he's one of my favorites. Anyway, back to Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, he's a guy who could just do it all, right? Again, he had the mobility, he had the legs, he had the arm talent, he had the intelligence, and he did a lot, right? He's a 4-time MVP, he's a Super Bowl champion, but people look at it and say that, for all those years that he was in Green Bay putting up amazing numbers and all that, he didn't even just only win one Super Bowl, he only made it to one Super Bowl. Now, the Packer defenders, like my guy Transformer, they will complain about the defense, etc. But if you're Aaron Rodgers and you're that great, I really feel like, and it's my opinion, that you probably should have been able to do more to get your team over the hump, even if it was getting them to one more Super Bowl, right? And so I feel like there was more meat on that bone in terms of his career. Now, can we say his career was a disappointment? Maybe, just in terms of his talent and his level of excellence. He probably should have achieved more. like, I don't think anyone's going to tell you Ben Roethlisberger was better than Aaron Rodgers, but Ben Roethlisberger has 2 championships, and I think he went to 3 Super Bowls. Now, the other argument is going to be, well, he had the Steelers defense. He had much better defenses. We can argue that, but he wasn't as good as Aaron Rodgers, and he he didn't have the level of weapons on the outside Aaron Rodgers did. So I don't know. Take that how you want to take it. Anyway, so Aaron Rodgers, after, I want to say, 16, 15 years in Green Bay, he decided to move on, and he ended up in New York with the Jets. Coincidentally, that's kind of exactly how it went for his predecessor in Green Bay, Brett Favre, who played a number of years as a cheesehead and then went on to the New York Jets. I think he only spent 1 year with the Jets, though, before he went on to Minnesota and had a kind of late career resurgence. So I guess the question is, can Aaron Rodgers have that? The reason I asked that, Aaron Rodgers came to a New York Jets team that a lot of people thought was in position to have some success because they had a very outstanding defense. This is 2 years ago under then coach Robert Saleh. They had an outstanding defense, and they felt like quarterback was just the key that they needed, right, to be able to make the plays. And while the defense kept them in good position to stay close in games, if you had a quarterback that could make the plays and get them over the top, they could win a lot more games and be very dangerous. And I kind of get that mentality, right? So that's the position they were in. Then, not this past season, but last season, well, I guess this past season is over. So 2 seasons ago, on opening night, Aaron Rodgers tears his Achilles tendon, and there we go. So he tears his Achilles, but at this age, we already know how difficult it is to come back from an Achilles tear. But at the age he was, I think he was 38 or 39 at the time, to do the rehab, to get all the way back. He did get back, but he simply wasn't the same player. You could tell he didn't have the mobility. You could tell he didn't necessarily trust the Achilles in terms of trying to do the amazing things that Aaron Rodgers has done throughout the years. You could see that he didn't necessarily trust it in terms of really stepping into throws or, all of those things, right? It clearly wasn't there for him. So he never reached, I would say, anywhere near the levels that he reached in Green Bay, and it didn't work out. Then on top of that, you have the other part of it. You have the drama that comes with him, right? Aaron Rodgers, he wanted certain guys to come with him, and the Jets kind of obliged him. I think they got his guy Lazard from Green Bay and a couple other guys I can't remember off the top of my head. But then Davante Adams forced to trade from Las Vegas Raiders to come out there and play with him, but it didn't end up working, right? And so now you have a situation where the Jets have a brand new head coach, and that's Aaron Glenn. And basically, the Jets reportedly on Tuesday told Aaron Rodgers that they will be moving on from him. Now, I don't have all the details on that meeting, but part of that is that I guess they told him that if he's going to stay, he can no longer do the Pat McAfee show, that he's got to be at all the basically don't be a distraction, right? Go to all the off-season team activities, etc., and just, don't cause problems, right? Because we know last year, I think he missed some of the training session and all that. What's good, Laker Nation? What's going on, man? What invite? What are we talking about? But yeah, so he missed stuff in the preseason last year, and Aaron Glenn is like, nah, we're not doing that. If you're going to be here, then you need to be here. If you're going to be here, we're not playing no games. If you're going to be here, no more Pat McAfees. We need you focused and locked in on being the best quarterback you can be for the New York Jets, right? And I don't know if that's something that Aaron Rodgers didn't like or what have you, but it's been reported that it appears that his time with the Jets is over, right? So the 41-year-old has reportedly been told by Jets management that the team intends to move on to new pastures during the offseason, signaling a turning of the page for the franchise. Fox's Jay Glazer reported the news, while NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport also reported the Jets' decision. CNN has contacted the Jets for comment. So now this is tough for the Jets because also now, remember, they gave up capital to try and get Davante Adams. Not trying, but to bring Davante Adams out from Las Vegas, and he's there. And now he may want to walk, right? Because Aaron Rodgers is not there, and that's the guy he came to play with, his buddy from all those years in Green Bay, and that that didn't work out if Aaron Rodgers is gone. So now you say, okay, what's going to happen with Devontae Adams? What's going to happen with the Jets? What's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? So now I guess the question is it over for Rodgers, right? Is it over for Aaron Rodgers? And now the question is, what's he going to do? Is this going to be a situation where he sits down, mulls it over, thinks about it, and then decides to retire? Or is his great athlete ego going to kick in and he's going to say, you know what? I'll take it one more stop and I'll show them I still got it. And that's the question, right? Maybe the aforementioned Raiders, right? They don't have a quarterback. Last year, they went through the entire season with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Not a good quarterback room. So he could end up there, right? I'm sure there's a couple of spots. Maybe he ends up in Tennessee and then they draft his understudy. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm sure there's a couple of spots that could use a veteran on the way to the Hall of Fame signal caller. But again, this is a situation of how much of Aaron Rodgers are you actually going to get? The Aaron Rodgers that was multiple-time MVP. What percentage of that is still around? What percentage of that is still playing? How much of that can you get? And are you going to get a guy who's locked in, focused, and not distracted? That's another thing, right? Now, here's another thought that I thought would be interesting. It just occurred to me, right? So we know that Sam Darnold was the big name throughout most of the year last year until, of course, he turned back into Sam Darnold. And during his final 2 games of the season, he played his worst 2 games of the season, right? Cost himself a lot of money. So here's the question. If you could have Sam Darnold, or if you're Minnesota, you're not quite sure if J.J. McCarthy is ready to take over the reins yet after coming back from his knee surgery and then still, basically being a redshirt rookie this year. If that's what you got, would you think about bringing in an Aaron Rodgers with those weapons you have there, right? What's my guy's name? Oh my gosh, I forgot. Justin Jefferson and I forgot the other receiver. Came out of USC. But the point is, you have two elite weapons in terms of the wide receiving core, and you have an opportunity. If you're Minnesota, are you possibly looking at Aaron Rodgers? Are you wondering, okay, is this a guy that we can trust to come in here and be the guy, be professional, set that example for J.J. McCarthy, give us one more year before we have to find out what he's about, and possibly a guy that can get us over the hump, who we know is better than Sam Darnold? I don't know. I mean, that's a thought, right? Maybe if you're the Rams, you trade Matt Stafford and you bring in Aaron Rodgers. I don't know, right? At any rate, I think wherever Aaron Rodgers go, that team is going to get a guy who is, if he continues to play, a guy who probably has a chip on his shoulder, wants to show he still got it, and he's a guaranteed first ballot Hall of Famer, but you don't have to pay him that much. That's a rarity. So I think that's an interesting thought. I'm quickly trying to run through in my head, like, what are some spots that could be landing spots for Aaron Rodgers? I saw my man Edward in the chat said possibly Pittsburgh. I don't know if Mike Tomlin wants to deal with that. That's a headache, right? He already dealt with a headache in Big Ben. I don't know if he wants to deal with another all-time headache in Aaron Rodgers. Cleveland, they need a quarterback, right? Maybe they looking at Aaron Rodgers. Let's see. We talked about Tennessee, which is everybody in the NFC South has got their quarterback. Well, no, maybe the Saints, right? Maybe the Saints need a quarterback. So there's some spots where he could land and possibly be dangerous. I don't know. But the question is, first, does he want to continue to play, right? And if he wants to continue to play, is he going to do everything it takes not to be a distraction and play at the maximum level that his body will allow him to play at this point in his career after everything he's been through? Now, here's the thing, right? He's 40 or 41, but they always say that not the year immediately following an Achilles or a knee is the year that you're back to normal. It's that following year. Steve, what's good, my man? Good to see you. It's that following season that you're kind of back to being, who you thought you were or who you once were, if you can get back to that. So this would be that year to kind of get back to it. So I don't know, man. We will see what Aaron Rodgers can do, what he's still capable of doing if he decides to come back. And something tells me a player of that caliber who's done everything he's done in his career, he's not going to want to go out basically having been dismissed by the Jets and leaving a bad taste in people's mouth by not being the guy that everyone saw him be for so many years in Green Bay. So that's kind of my thoughts on that. Aaron Rodgers, I don't know if it's over for him. I guess the question remains, and it's going to be up to him. Realistically, it's up to him. Is he going to want to come back? Is he going to want to put in the work? Does he still have the fire in his gut and the chip on his shoulder to show that he is the type of guy that that we once saw? I guess that's the question. And the answer to that is I don't know. I really don't know. But yeah, that was the first topic. And let's go ahead, and this is what I'll do. I'll open up the phone lines here, and I will take a couple calls if anybody's interested in calling in and discussing whether or not they think it's over for Aaron Rodgers, because I'm definitely curious about that. I'm curious to know if anyone thinks it's a wrap for him, or if he thinks he can get back, or if you think that he can get back to playing at a high level in the NFL. So yeah, 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. I'd love to hear your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers. Or you can just leave it in the chat. Either way, but I'll definitely love to hear what anyone says about what anyone thinks about Aaron Rodgers and if they think his career is over. Because it's funny, people have always talked about this whole greatest thrower of the football in history, and I've never really bought into that. I've talked about it a few times on the show. Is he incredible? Yes. Greatest thrower of the football ever? I don't know if I believe that. I mean, there's a guy named Dan Marino who might disagree, right? There's a guy named John Elway who might disagree. There's a guy named Steve Young who might disagree. There's a guy named Lamar Jackson who might disagree, right? There's a guy named Joe Burrow who might disagree. There's some serious cats out here who might disagree with that whole greatest thrower of the football we've ever seen. And I'm like, but first of all, when people say that, I would also like to know, like, what's the criteria for that? What makes you the greatest thrower of the football that we've ever seen? I mean, is it being able to throw on the move? Is it arm strength? Is it touch? Is it delivery? Is it arm angles? Like, what is the criteria that makes you the greatest thrower of the football we've ever seen? Is it all of those things together? I'm not really sure. But see, this is the problem. We have all these titles, right? Most valuable player, GOAT, this, that, and the third, right? Most outstanding player, blah, blah, blah. But nobody ever wants to sit down, put pen to paper, and put out criteria on what makes you all of these things, right? What can earn you all of these titles? Why? Because they want people like me and Transformer and whoever else to sit down here and debate it. And they want people like you and the people in the barbershop to sit there and argue it and debate it and make it a topic. And they want all the sports media shows, the Faculty or First Take or, Get Up or whatever other show it is that you might be watching, Gil's Arena, whatever. They want you to listen to those shows. They want the people on those shows to sit there and argue and debate it, right? Because basically it brings attention to the league. It brings attention to those players, brings attention to that game, whatever it is. And I respect that. Yes, Steve Splenda is the greatest thrower of all time. Yes, he might be. But no, I just find it so interesting that so many of these things just absolutely refuse to set down any criteria. Because for me, I'm very much I'm not going to say a black and white guy because I do believe in context, but having criteria for things makes it so much easier. At the very least, you should have criteria just for being mentioned in the discussion, right? So if you're going to be the greatest thrower of the football of all time, I want criteria. What puts you in that discussion? All right, let's go ahead and take this call. Bruce, what's good, my man? How you doing?
How you feeling tonight?
Maintaining, man.
Okay, Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers still got him. He still got something in him. I'm not gonna give him grace this year. He was coming up. He was a little antsy because of his foot.
I agree.
He still put up above average numbers this year. Truthfully, I think the Jets had way more problems than him. It wasn't him. They always complaining about Aaron Rodgers' attitude and his nonchalant. Hey, everybody's different, man. Understand what I'm saying? Everybody's different. You accept somebody. I always say, you accept somebody for who they is and not for who you want them to be. I just think Aaron Rodgers still has a lot left. He got to go to a team that got a lot. He's not as agile as he once was.
Correct.
Now, to a team to have a great pass protection, man, that'll be scary. Whoever it may be. Pittsburgh? Is it Pittsburgh? You talking about Pittsburgh? Nah, I don't see him in Pittsburgh. Hey, Cleveland. Shit.
I mentioned that. That could be, yeah.
That's if they don't get Cam Ward or Shador.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think Shador's going to go there. I don't think Coach Prime is going to allow that. But go
on. Shit, Cleveland. Shit, man. Let me say this right now. Pin this up.
Mm-hmm.
I had Rodgers comeback player of the year. If he goes, if he goes to a team that got a good pass protection, they're all still there.
Okay, all right.
And Aaron Rodgers is the greatest thrower of the football ever. Aaron Rodgers made the greatest throw ever in that divisional championship against the Cowboys.
I knew you were going to bring that up, but I don't know if he's the great. Listen, I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying there's a lot of dudes that have an argument. I don't know if you heard when I was saying it. Lamar's got an argument. He got something to say about that because
you say Lamar.
Yeah, absolutely. Because we have watched what Lamar can slice and dice you from the pocket. Lamar is arguably the best passer ever on the move, right? Arguably, I think we can make that argument. Maybe not definitively, but we can make that argument. John Elway, Steve Young, Warren Moon, like there's some dudes that have a legitimate argument to that greatest thrower of the foot. Dan Marino, yes.
It's not just no one guy. This is do a top 5 or Mount Rushmore. It can't be just one. But he most definitely in the conversation. Aaron Rodgers.
That I can go with. But like you hear guys definitively saying it, like Shannon Sharp says it, and he says it definitively. I don't know if he was just saying that to push Skip's buttons, but I'm like, I don't know how a guy that played with John Elway for like 14 years or however long it was can say that Aaron Rodgers definitively the best thrower of football ever. Like that's kind of, I'm like, really? Like I wonder what John says about that.
But Aaron Rodgers also won 4 MVP.
Yeah, no doubt.
He was worthy of all 4 of those. Now his touchdown to interception ratio
crazy,
brother. The kid, listen, prior injury, young like mid prime AR talking about throwing on the run. Bro, him on the run, shit, man. That throw he made against the Cowboys, man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy. But let me ask you this: you don't think Steve Young was just as good throwing on the move as Aaron Rodgers? I do.
Absolutely.
Okay.
That's the throw everybody bring up as the greatest throw of all time. One of the greatest throws. The placement, the everything, the right. He that's what the distance where he threw it from. He had to scramble to make the throw. His feet, I don't even think his feet was all the way. I think he threw it off balance. It was a little bit off throw.
Right.
And the place it right there for only his guy can get it, and where though you have enough room to get that motherfucker. Excuse my language. Yes. But far as like him coming back, oh yes, well he got him on the tank. His arm not dead. He's not as agile as he once was.
Right.
Hey, who said the statue quarterback was dead? That's not true. We'll prove that.
Right.
Last year, it was proved. Small proved that the statue. Somebody don't move much for putting up good numbers. Jared Goff.
Yep.
So the traditional quarterback is not dead as people, the media trying to. I heard a couple pundits talk about it's all about the dual threat quarterback now. Yes, it's true. They talk about you gotta have mobility.
I don't think gotta have it. I think it helps. I don't think you gotta have it. And it also, to your point, it depends on your protection up front and your scheme.
Yes. Look, I like a Matthew Stafford, let that thing fly with the best of them.
Yep. That's a fact.
The stationary quarterback is not dead. So I hope people will just kill that. The Jared Goff proved that's a lie.
But I'll say this to your point though. I don't know if you heard me say it, that a lot of times when you have a knee or an Achilles, it's not the immediate season back. It's the following season that you see,
Yes.
Okay, so now this is that year. So it's very good that you brought up that he could be comeback player of the year this year. That's very possible because this is that season. So if he decides that he wants to come back and play and he's serious and he has he's got that chip on his shoulder, he could be dangerous. Easy goer. Easy goer says nobody cares what arm angle you throw, the ball still needs to go to the same place. Arm angles so overrated. Arm angles are not overrated, especially not with when you're talking about the pockets collapsing and you're talking about the size of these defensive linemen and you're talking about linebackers and stuff running at you and pressures coming from all these different places. You need to be able to release the ball from different arm angles, as we said, in order sometimes to get the ball to that same place that you're talking about. So arm angles is not overrated. You're not always going to be able to step into the perfect throw. So
Absolutely.
arm angle's not overrated. Like we watch Lamar. A lot of times I wonder, why does he throw sidearms so much? But Lamar has an ability to get the ball where it needs to be, no matter the situation. And I think that has a lot to do with it.
Yes. Shout out to Bernie Kosar.
Yeah. That's a big one. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
When you said something about usually the year after next was when somebody blow their knee out, the tear their Achilles, that they better. Tell Adrian Peterson.
Well,
the came right back the next year spraying for 2,000. But that's a different animal.
Yeah, that's a different animal. You got that right. Adrian Peterson is a total freak.
bro, 2,100. But I think truthfully, the Jets organization head, the higher ups, the guys who run the team, the GM, the owner, the general manager, whatever, their organization some shit. They never get it together unless they get it together upstairs. I think that's where a great organization starts.
Agreed.
Yeah, upstairs. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, it looks to me, I could be wrong, but it looks to me like they made a good move with Aaron Glenn, hiring him. I think that he's focused, he's driven. I think he is going to instill the right culture. He knows that organization. Obviously, they drafted him. He played there for years. He knows that media market. I think he's going to be okay. The key again is, can they get a quarterback? And if so, who's it going to be? That's going to be the key.
Truthfully, man, you got to do it. You got to give him another shot, yo. If I was running the team, I'll get AR another shot. And I'll build my line. I'll try to get the best line possible. That's why I will draft. Line is probably quarterback, future quarterback, second, third round. Try to find a gem. You never know. You always stumble upon gems. You still stumble up on a Brock Purdy. Yeah. Shit, if you stumble up on a Tom Brady, you never know. But I give him a do-over because this. Come on, man. It just wasn't right.
It wasn't all him.
Bring his all his wide receivers. I bring Adams back. Come on, let's do it again. But I'm not the one who calling the shots. If I was like the new GM, I'll give him one more year. I give him another shot, yo, because last year he didn't have it all together, man. Because you could tell he was in his head a lot, and that's not a. But he did. He had above average season. If you go look at his numbers, you're like, okay, wasn't that bad as that people had made it out to be. The whole damn team shit show, all that talent that goes to prove that your front office is the key to great organizations and healthy organizations, healthy locker rooms. And that whoever his name is, whoever runs New York right now, is a damn shit show up there. And we all
it is, but I think the key is you're seeing some of these owners they're trying to follow the Jerry Jones playbook, man. Step out of the way and let your football people run stuff. Hold on a second, Bruce. Easygoer says, why do all these fans think that physical talent is everything at QB? QBing is a mental game. When did I say physical talent was everything at QB? I certainly don't believe that, but I think you have to have the amalgam. You need to have both. You need to have some physical tools as well as you need to have the mental portion, right? Both of them are extremely important. And when you are lucky enough to be able to combine them, for instance, a Lamar Jackson, when you can do that, you get something truly special and amazing. So, But go ahead, Bruce. I'm sorry.
Well, so yeah, most organizations that are like that, as the owner runs everything, are some shit. So,
agreed.
We need to talk about that one day, whenever in the future, about teams that's owned by owners who want all the control.
Yeah. That might be, that's a good. I like that. That's a good idea. We do need to do that.
It's a detriment to your team and it hurts them. So, well, we can't say that Cowboys were 12-5 for 3 years straight. So something was working there, but
no. Like that's just a function of something was working because Mike McCarthy, that's a championship level coach, right? But think about this. You got Jerry Jones always playing around. Think about how much better that team could have been if he would have just done things in the right timeline instead of wanting to get attention from the media, so waiting and then having to pay a certain amount and messing up your cap, right? Think about how much better that team would be if he would hand over the reins and get a real GM, right? A real quality GM. Think about how much the team could have done something as simple as, obviously, I'm glad they didn't, but tell me, Derrick Henry wanted to play for the Cowboys. They wanted to play
Okay.
he wanted to play for the Cowboys. He lives in Texas when he's not playing. He got a crib out there in Dallas.
Yeah.
And you didn't even call him? You didn't call him? Think about this, right? Not Zeke. Dak Prescott is your guy. That's your quarterback you gave all this money to. Cool. Fine, whatever. I think he's overpaid, but whatever. Dak Prescott is your guy. You gave him all this money, but you haven't noticed that he's been at his absolute best when he's had an elite running back. So now you give him Derrick Henry. Maybe Derrick Henry doesn't get 1,900 yards, but he gets 1,500 yards, right? Think about how good Dak Prescott would be and how much that would have helped the Cowboys if they had Derrick Henry. But Jerry he's all about the headlines, not about the winning. He doesn't care. It's
a marketing juggernaut. I'll give him.
Yes, absolutely.
But Jesus, man, shit.
Yep. No question about it. He's an incredible businessman.
I think he was like, remember he got Dion? That's when he busted out the Nike check. The Nike, I think Jerry was one of the first owners in cahoots with Nike in the NFL. I may be wrong.
Maybe so.
Well, hey, I'm ready to get off, but thank you, Jerry, for Derrick Henry. We really appreciate it.
No doubt. Thank you for not signing Derrick Henry. Absolutely, because I love the running game, and I'm so happy we got him. Absolutely, I'm with you.
I know you don't like Brown, but the way Derrick Henry take care of his health and his body, he's got 2-3 above average years left, and when he got from how he played this year. Yeah. I don't want to get to the. We're going to say how he played this. He got some more time left. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna get off the phone right here.
Agreed.
I'm gonna call the next topic. All right, brother.
All right, brother. Hey, I appreciate the call, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, man.
All right.
My main man, Bruce, always with the good calls. Bruce be dropping it, man. Bruce and I go at it all the time, but that's all right, though. I love the passion that he has for this sports talk, man. So, yeah, that's where we are with Aaron Rodgers, and who can know if it's over for him or not? I guess we'll have to find out. Steve, you're wild. Mike Vick and Brett Favre, huh? Steve, you're crazy. All right, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to move on to the next topic because it appears we're not going to get any more calls on this one. So let's go ahead and move on. Now, this is going to be interesting. So, and this was actually inspired by my main man, Bruce, who just called, right? So, obviously, we saw Jalen Hurts, starting quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles, a guy who, 2 years ago, he probably would have won the MVP if he didn't get nicked up and missed a couple of games. This is another guy also who we know won a national championship at the University of Alabama and a couple of SEC titles at Alabama before moving on and going to Oklahoma and being a Heisman runner-up with Lincoln Riley, right? Lincoln Riley knows quarterbacks. He definitely does. So you had that. So he's a Heisman runner-up. He gets drafted second round. People are thinking, oh, you're crazy. You got Carson Wentz. You just paid him $100 million. Why would you draft Jalen Hurts? Exactly, easy goer. Exactly, because Jalen Hurts is a winner. He is a hard worker, whether it's in the weight room or the film room or in the practice field, and he is a winner. You never hear any drama with this dude off the field. That's what I love. He's humble. He always says the right thing. I love that too. No drama with this dude. All he wants to do is go out there, perform, and win. He's played in 2 Super Bowls, both against the Chiefs, and he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes in both situations. Now, don't get me wrong. They've done a great job of putting talent around him, but the guy is absolutely legitimate. Then you have, on the flip side of this particular topic, a guy that I mentioned a few times in the last topic, that is Lamar Jackson, a 2-time National Football League MVP, one of which was unanimously. I think it's fair to say he may be the greatest athlete and arguably the most talented player we've ever seen at the quarterback position. I think we can. I'm trying to run through names real quick in my head. He's right up there. If he's not the most talented or the greatest athlete, he's right up there at the quarterback position. He's phenomenal. He is, I guess he's the next generation, the Michael Vick 2.0. He is the modern day version of Randall Cunningham, elite arm talent, as well as elite speed, mobility, ability to read defenses from the pocket. And this is the thing that we love, right? So I'm gonna just talk about this briefly because I'm not a guy that's hung up on this, but it has to be said when you're talking about Lamar because it's part of the story. So obviously when he got drafted, he's a Heisman Trophy winner out of Louisville. I think he got drafted, I want to say 30th to the Baltimore Ravens in the first round, 30th overall, 30th. Yeah. And so this is a guy who a lot of people, Mike Vick, no better athlete at quarterback in the NFL. I don't know about that. But anyway, regardless, Lamar Jackson was a guy that we heard Bill Polian say that he should have worked out at wide receiver and converted. Everybody wanted to, because they know how much elite speed he has. Everybody wanted to see him run the 40. Some people I'm sure wanted to convert him to defensive back, etc. But he was like, I'm not running. I'm a quarterback. This is what I'm going to do, right? For instance, that actually goes back as far as when he got to Louisville. Obviously, he got recruited to play quarterback. He got to Louisville, and they were trying to have him, I think, return kicks at one point because I guess they saw how devastatingly fast he was. And his mom basically told the coach, that's not what you recruited my son to play. That's not what he's here for. He's not returning kicks. He's a quarterback. And, Mom, you definitely did a great job there because you have one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it at this point. And so obviously we have seen Lamar Jackson go on to do absolutely amazing things, set numerous records along the way. What you love about Lamar Jackson, kind of like Jalen Hurts, is that these are guys that no one thought would be elite quarterbacks in the modern game, right? But both of these guys, they had their weaknesses or their issues or whatever coming into the league. But both of these guys, no static, no drama, put their heads down, come in and just do the work. They just do the work, right? And me, and Bruce knows this about me, I love the guys that just don't talk a lot. They're humble. Now, is it cool sometimes to hear great players talk trash? Yeah, it's funny, right? But the guys that don't talk a lot, they're humble, just come in, do the work, and continue to be better and better and better. And you have seen how Lamar Jackson has just become, again, arguably the greatest weapon ever at the position, right? We know, like this guy, he ran for over 900 rushing yards this year, and a lot of times it's so scary. Lamar Jackson doesn't even look like he's trying hard when he's out there running. Like he's like, okay, let me just pick up these yards or whatever. But it doesn't look like he's even trying hard, but he's got over 900 yards rushing, and he has the record himself. I think it's more than 1,100 yards rushing in a season, which is a single season quarterback record, right? So, he's got that. So then you look at it and you say, not only is he elite with his legs, but now you say, okay, this dude has turned himself into an elite pocket passer who can slice and dice you. And he doesn't even necessarily have, he's got good weapons, but he doesn't have elite weapons on the outside, right? But this is a guy now, the first ever in history to have more than 4,000 passing yards and less than 5 interceptions in the same season. Like that is crazy. It doesn't even make sense, like how efficient this guy was and how well he protected the football, right? So what's the problem with Lamar Jackson? He's 2-time league MVP. He's got, I think he leads the league, or he's second in the league in quarterback wins since he came into the league. It's either him or Patrick Mahomes, one of the two. But he's top 2 in quarterback wins since he entered the league. He's setting record after record. Every year he's setting a record for something else. One of them this year was he now leads all time in quarterback rushing yards. Again, I mentioned he's the only quarterback ever with more than 4,000 passing yards and 40 passing touchdowns, less than 5 interceptions. Like, let that sink in how crazy that is, right? Now, I'm Steve. I'm getting to it. Chill. I got this. So I'm getting to it, Steve. I got you. Trust me. So the point is, when you now look at what Lamar has been able to do, it's absolutely phenomenal. But again, I will always reference it. If you watch this show, even though I'm a Ravens fan, the big issue for me now becomes what? Where is the postseason success for Lamar Jackson? Where is the postseason success? His numbers drop precipitously in the postseason. He simply does not play as well on that level. And where the great ones are measured, where the great ones make their legend is where? In the postseason, right? And I think that's where we really start getting into the problems with Lamar Jackson, because we know how great he is. We know what type of ability he has. We see what he's worked himself into. I think he's 2-time first team All-Pro now, 2 or 3-time first team All-Pro. So we know how good the guy is. But when it counts most, if we have to be fair, he hasn't shown up the way he should. Right. So Easy Gore says, I'm a white person and some of the Lamar hate, quote unquote, stems from his looks and how he talks. Sorry for the truth. There's some truth to that. But now, Lamar Jackson, I've talked ad nauseum about how special he is. I've also been fair and talked about why he gets a lot of the pressure that he gets as a football player. But now let's flip it to the other side. Jalen Hurts. No one is going to tell you Jalen Hurts is as good as Lamar Jackson. No one's going to tell you Jalen Hurts is better than Lamar Jackson. But guess what? Jalen Hurts has already been to two Super Bowls, and he's won one. And both times he's outplayed the guy that many think is in the GOAT discussion. Both times he's outplayed the guy that most feel is without question the best quarterback in the game. He's done that twice now, right? Now, have the Eagles really done a great job of building an outstanding defense? Yes, but Lamar's had that too. Have the Eagles done a great job of building an outstanding running game? Yes, but Lamar's had that too, right? The Eagles had Saquon Barkley, 2,005 rushing yards this season, first team All-Pro. Baltimore and Lamar Jackson had Derrick Henry, second team All-Pro, I think 1,950 plus rushing yards this season. So right behind Saquon. So it's not like a huge drop-off. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this season, Baltimore led the league in Pro Bowlers with 8, right? And I think they had like 5 or 6 All-Pros. So it's not like Baltimore has not done a great job putting talent all around Lamar Jackson. Now, I will admit they haven't put elite receiver talent around Lamar Jackson. That's something they could do. I don't know why they didn't make a bigger push for Devontae Adams. That's the move I would have tried to make. I think that could have helped a lot. But, hey, what do we say? Zay Flowers, second year, man. Well, he's going into his third year now. Out of Boston College, he made his first Pro Bowl this year, right? And a big part of that is Lamar Jackson. So, but anyway, you look at Jalen Hurts and you say, okay, this is a guy who he is now Super Bowl MVP, which I'm sure is the trophy that Lamar Jackson wants more than anything, right? I really don't think he's too concerned about any more regular season MVPs. Those are nice, but he wants the Super Bowl MVP. Why? Because he's a team guy and because he knows that you can only get that if you win the big one. And that's all he cares about, is winning the big one, being a winner and going down, as one of the greatest and being there and playing at that high level he's capable of for his team. And you love that about Lamar because you can see how much it hurts when he doesn't get the job done, right? Now, all that said, here comes the question, right? Bruce said a couple of weeks ago when he called in, he said, you're going to see if Jalen Hurts wins the championship. Obviously, this was prior to the Super Bowl. He said, you're going to see if Jalen Hurts wins the championship, it's going to be Lamar pitted against Jalen Hurts. So I said, you know what? I'm going to take that topic and I'm going to do it. And I don't know that I'm necessarily pitting one against the other. But now the question becomes, because both teams are relatively equally talented, right? If you could have Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, if you're Baltimore, would you keep Lamar or would you take Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts is a winner, right? All things relatively equal, what would you do? Jalen Hurts seems to step up his game in the postseason, while Lamar, as great as he is, doesn't do that, right? Laker Nation says it's easy to make those throws with a big lead. Okay, fair enough, Laker Nation. And we can say that looking back at this Super Bowl. But what about the Super Bowl 2 years ago, where once again, he clearly outplayed Pat Mahomes, right? Now, I will be objective. He had the big turnover that cost him the game. I think it was a fumble, right? He had the big late game turnover that cost him the game. But on the whole, he did outplay Pat Mahomes. So, they didn't have the big lead then to make those throws. And realistically, those throws were tight window throws that Jalen Hurts was making in this Super Bowl, right? It's not like he was throwing the guys running free. Like the coverage was there, but he was delivering the ball. So that's kind of how I see that. And look, man, I'm not trying to disrespect either one. And obviously, as a Ravens fan, I love Baltimore. But let's just take a look, as we brought it up, at some of those throws and runner-up. Like, he's got it all. Like, he's used to these big game environments. Not saying Lamar is not, but let's see. As great as Philly D played, Jalen played really well. I think so. You're right. If Pat Mahomes had Jalen's performance, everyone would be twerking it up. No, you're right. Because the argument, and we'll get to it in the next topic, the argument was this whole, if Mahomes plays well and gets that three-peat Is he now going to be the GOAT? Is the GOAT discussion a lot closer? Blah, blah, blah. Is the GOAT, him and Tom Brady? And it's been that way for a few years because don't get me wrong, Pat Mahomes is incredibly great. But anyway, we'll get to that. But the point is here, you have Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. And these guys, I think, are both elite in their own ways. But at the end of the day, I think somebody put it, I don't know if it was Easy Go or put it in the comments earlier. At the end of the day, if we keeping it a buck, right? And that's what we try to do here on the Format Podcast. Jalen Hurts is just a winner, man. He's just a winner. That is what this dude does. And the scary thing about Philly, right? Even though, and let me give Bruce a shout out for this, the path to the Super Bowl in the NFC is a lot easier than it is in the AFC, right? As we always say, the AFC is an absolute gauntlet. The NFC, not so much, right? Not saying that there's not good teams over there, but it's not like going through the AFC. Philly defense kept Mahomes out of it. They played exceptional. Absolutely. You could argue Jalen had a better Super Bowl performance than Mahomes ever has. Yeah, you probably could argue that. But see, the difference is, Steve, when it comes to Mahomes is a guy who, if it's close, coming down to it, Mahomes is going to make the play to beat you. So he may not have the gaudiest Super Bowl numbers. His Super Bowl numbers are not great, but he is the guy that's going to make the plays to beat you. But then, so we saw what Jalen Hurts does, but now we can just go. And that's the one thing that's got to get fixed, man, because once he gets out of his own way in the playoffs and protects the football, I don't know that there's going to be anything you can do with him. But that needs to happen. So now the point is that you will hear, and I'm surprised you haven't really heard it much yet from the mainstream sports media. You will hear this Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson thing, because the question is going to continue to be, okay, Lamar Jackson is one of the greatest regular season quarterbacks of all time, but where's the postseason winning? And that's going to be the problem. All right. Definitely less pressure on Jalen, the way the defense was playing for sure, but the kid still made throws he was asked to make. Basically, that's true. Yeah, you could tell, and you could see Spagnuolo said, listen, I don't care who else beats me. It's not going to be Saquon. 25 carries for 57 yards in the Super Bowl. That was his thing, right? Everything builds off of what Saquon does, whether it's the play action, whether it's the RPO. Everything is off of what Saquon does. We are going to shut him down, and we'll have a very good chance to win this game. And they shut him down, and Jalen Hurts said, hold my beer. I got it. You know what I'm saying? Edward, what's good? What's the question you got, man? What's the question you got? And in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to open the phone lines up, y'all. And let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about this Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson. Is there a Jalen Hurts versus Lamar Jackson? Is it just, all right, you know what? I don't normally like to take it here, but is it just because they're two black quarterbacks who've had a high level of success? Is that why they may be getting pitted against one another? Or is it just that we're looking at Lamar Jackson and saying, this guy is so elite, when's he going to get it done? Meanwhile, Jalen Hurts, a guy who most people would say does not have, 2/3 of the talent that Lamar Jackson has now been to the Super Bowl twice, but he hasn't won it yet. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts on Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson. In the meantime, while I wait for any calls, my question is, when it comes to the GOAT debate for QBs, why does nobody bring up Joe Montana in the debate? He's undefeated in the Super Bowl. Interesting. Laker Nation, what's good, man?
Hey, I'm just calling because you didn't invite me on the show. You knew you was going to be out here solo.
I didn't know I was going to be out here solo, man. I thought Transformer was going to pop in a little late, but I just ended up running.
That explains.
Yeah,
you got to have some pushback over here, man. Your viewers want to see a debate, man.
Well, sometimes I don't mind rolling for Dolo, man. I like to just come on here and spit a little bit too. Don't always have to be a debate.
Come on, man.
Yeah, it don't always have to be that.
Yeah, we men, man. We got to spice up the show.
Mm-hmm.
So this is what my call's going to do to spice up the show.
All right, what you got?
Oh, my GOAT is Joe Montana.
Mm-hmm. Of course it is.
I didn't create this GOAT debate. That was everybody else because Mahomes was playing.
Mm-hmm.
I never created no GOAT debate. Joe Montana to me is the greatest quarterback ever.
No, I think it's Brady, but that's me.
Of course you would.
Well, I'm not a New England fan. I'm not a Bucs fan. What do you mean? Of course I would.
Yeah, of course you would. Joe, I can debate you all day on that.
I mean, you could, but I don't think it's gonna.
Fucking Joe was playing with killers.
I mean,
I ain't saying Tom Brady didn't get hit, but come on now, he didn't take none of the hits that Joe Montana did.
No doubt. But Joe Montana also had, Roger Craig and freaking what's my man name?
Brady had Gruff.
But okay, he had Jerry Rice.
Obviously the greatest tight end ever. I ain't never seen nobody go out wide and get triple team.
But he didn't have Gronk the whole time though. He didn't have Gronk his whole career. All
right. Who else do you have besides Gronk?
So think about this, right? He had Randy Moss, but he never won a chip with Randy Moss.
I ain't counting Randy Moss.
Exactly my point. He was winning titles with Deion Branch and Wes Welker and Julian Edelman. Like, real talk. Think about this now. He didn't have the weapons Joe Montana had. Now, granted, he did not play in the physical era that Joe Montana did, right? But if we're fair, they both played in crappy divisions pretty much their whole career, right? They both played in bad divisions, so they both had the benefit of that. Now, with that said, once the playoffs rolled around, they had to do what they had to do to get through the playoffs and to win championships. So I will never completely denigrate the fact that they played in bad divisions because they had to do what they had to do.
So you telling me, let's take Lamar Jackson out the equation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's just say you need an emergency quarterback to win you one game before Lamar gets back to the Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. And you got prime Joe Montana and prime Tom Brady. And you have the choice if you can pick one.
Yeah.
And you're telling me you're going to go with Brady.
Yes. Absolutely.
Are you insane?
Yes. And remember, I'm old enough to have seen Joe Montana now. And he was a bad man. And he went to Notre Dame. Go Irish. But all that said, I'm taking Brady, man. Yeah.
There wasn't no one better.
I mean, you can argue that, and I'm not trying to take shots at Montana, but Brady was that dude, man. And we watched this dude come back from 28-3.
Montana didn't have Gronk.
But Brady didn't have Jerry Rice. What are you saying? We can do that. I mean, what are you saying?
He didn't have Gronk.
He didn't have Jerry Rice. What are you saying? You see what I'm saying? Come on, man. Come on now.
Jerry Rice didn't have triple coverage on the line of scrimmage.
Okay, let's do it this way. That is crazy. Easy go.
You willing to talk about Hurts and Lamar?
Yeah.
What, you want to change the subject now?
No. I wasn't changing it. I was reading the comment from Easygoer. He says, as a starter, Tom Brady has never had a losing record at any level, high school, college, NFL, until the very final year with the Bucs going 8-9. And I think they still made the playoffs. But yeah, that is kind of crazy. Damn, that's like 30 years. But anyway, that's wild. But no, listen, nobody is taking shots at Joe Montana here. But I'm saying Brady.
I know nobody's taking shots at Joe Montana.
And here's the other thing, right? So let me answer Edward in the chat. He says, when it comes to the GOAT debate for QBs, no, what do you say? So, Bruce, you are more impressed with Tom Brady winning more championships than Joe Montana being undefeated. So I'm not even going to mention where I think he's trying to go there. But the point is, no, it's not.
Super Bowl.
It's not about winning more championships, Edward. It's not that, right? It's not the only thing. See, you think that everybody is just looking at ring count, and that's not it. Because if you've heard me talk about Brady on this show before, where I'm so impressed with Brady, what do I always say? When I rank guys as players, it's an amalgam of eye test, stats, accomplishments, and winning, right? And both of them have all that. But when you look at the fact that Brady also, and it wasn't just a function of longevity, right? But when you look at the fact that Brady has all the winning, he has the awards, and he's got all the numbers, like, that's real hard to beat, bro. That's real hard to beat. So, I mean, that's what I look at. And again, no shade at Joe Montana. He was great, and he went to Notre Dame. Go Irish. But in all seriousness, Yeah, it has to be
I
Brady
just
for
don't
me.
understand you saying you saw both of them play. Now I can't believe you're taking Tom Brady over Joe Montana.
Yes, I'm taking Tom
Based
Brady
on the
over
eye
Joe
test.
Montana.
Based on the eye test alone.
Not alone. No. Based on the numbers, the accomplishments, the awards, the winning, the eye test, you put it all together, I'm taking Brady. Yes. Absolutely. And the fact that he won without elite weapons for the most part. Yes, he had Gronk, but his wide receivers, for the most part, he wasn't winning with.
That's an elite weapon. Gronk equals three receivers all in one.
No, you can't say. No, I disagree with that.
How? How is he not?
How is he's one tight end? He's not three receivers. He's a tight end. He's not three receivers. Stop that.
Like three receivers in the one. You can.
All right, man. You got it. I mean, if that's how you see it, but no, Steve, he didn't lose his job at Michigan. Who is that? Drew, not Bledsoe. Drew Henson. He was the star guy. He was the guy when Brady got there. I don't think he lost it to him. Brady was trying to take it from him. Nah, he didn't. Here we go, Steve. Oh boy. All right, but anyway, Laker Nation, go ahead.
But with since you can't go a show without talking about Lamar Jackson for some reason.
This was the topic.
I hate that I'm about to say this because I wanted to debate you so bad.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not. I think no. What is the debate here with Hurts and Lamar? Like, what is the question? Like, who's the better quarterback?
No, it's not so much that. It's what happens is now that Jalen Hurts is a champion and a Super Bowl MVP, we will. And this is something that Bruce and I had kind of talked about. This is what you're going to start seeing at some point here because of Lamar's regular season excellence, but not his postseason excellence. You're going to see that comparison happen at some point, right? They're going to say, okay, well, when is Lamar now going to get over this hump? Especially, okay, Jalen Hurts won the chip this year in the Super Bowl MVP, and Josh Allen won the regular season MVP. It's like, okay, Lamar, at what point are you getting over this hump? Like we've been hearing that already, but it's about to get even. That clamor is about to get even louder because Jalen Hurts won the chip.
Well, I'm gonna say this: that I don't never, come at these situations as a fan. The fan is going to say, "Oh, I'm taking Jalen Hurts all day. He just won the Super Bowl." Listen, Jalen Hurts is the same Jalen Hurts from last year. What's the huge difference? He got Saquon, and his defense got better. The same Jalen from last year.
So here's something that people don't take into account with Jalen Hurts, and then I'll let you go. I had another call coming through. Something that people don't take into account with Jalen Hurts is this dude has had 4 OCs in 5 years. Like, that's not an easy thing to deal with. In sports as a quarterback. It's not.
I'm not taking shots at him, but I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Yes, we got to take into account. Jalen Hurts hasn't changed. He's the same Jalen Hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Eagles just smart. They just so take the pressure off of him, where he doesn't have to carry the load, which he didn't.
But you can see he's capable of doing it. Like, he showed us he can do that if he needs to.
But Lamar has to carry the load. That's the difference in the two.
Does he have to carry the load? He's got a 1,900 plus yard rusher.
He still, man, even though he still carried the load. You watched the game. The difference is, Jalen made the throws that needed to be done, but he didn't. When we compare elite quarterbacks, it's the ones that carry that load. That's why we're talking about Montana and Brady. He didn't have to. He didn't really have to do much.
No, I think that's disrespectful, man.
He just hit. He did his job. I ain't gonna lie. But come on now.
Yeah, no, I'm
Come
gonna
on now.
disagree with you. But let me
It's fun.
I
But come on now.
gotta
I'm
let
gonna
you
say
go,
this
man. I got a call.
before you try to kick me off the phone, because I know that's the sound of your voice going.
No, I got a call coming. But go ahead.
Man, I'm your first member anyway.
Yeah, I know. But go ahead, make your last
Nah,
point.
I ain't gonna be disrespectful. But come on now. I know you want to give him his flowers and everything. You got the Super Bowl MVP. That's all due. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna put salt on his game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He did earn it. You know, he got his first ring. But you got to understand, like you said, the NFC is a little bit easier.
It is.
You back. You understand the NFC was easier. They had the most complete team besides the Lions, and they made it.
Mm-hmm.
Jalen Lamar has to go through that gauntlet every year. It's not. I ain't gonna say that he's folding.
Mm-hmm.
He's just with his experience. He's gonna be miles ahead of her, because every year the playoffs is a different animal. They game plan different.
Right.
And the teams in the AFC are a lot better, so they game plan for when they play the Lamar different. They're like, Lamar still does what he got to do, but the game plan is different.
Mm.
And he's going through that gauntlet. He's going through the Chiefs every year. He's going through the Bills every year. You know, it's always the same full team that he's going through every year.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna get his. Don't trip. If it ain't next year, it might be the year after.
No. I believe he will.
He's far ahead of Hurts, but Hurts had a whole lot more support.
All right. We're gonna leave it there. I don't agree with that, but we're gonna leave it there.
I mean, they took my. I mean, that defense was enough to do something nobody else did this whole season, was take Mahomes out of the game.
Yeah.
He didn't get his numbers to garbage time. So
Right. All right, man. I appreciate the call. Let me go ahead and take this. I know Bruce was trying to get in, but stick around, man. We're gonna keep it rolling.
All right.
All right,
That's
brother.
why you didn't want me on it. That's why you didn't call me on the show. Boy, you knew
it. Whatever, man. We'll talk, man. Thanks for the call. Bruce, go ahead, call back, man. I saw you. Go ahead and call back. But yeah, this is man. I'm definitely not trying to pit these cats against one another, but we will see and hear it happen. But it was good to see Jalen Hurts win, man, because you like to see guys like that who put the work in, reap the ultimate reward, and hopefully sooner rather than later, Lamar Jackson will hold up that Super Bowl trophy and the Super Bowl MVP as well. So yeah, we'll see. Easy goer. The caller is basically saying Tom Brady, every Tom Brady teammate was Superman. I don't know if he was saying that, but I get your point though. Easy goer. Bruce, what up, man?
How you feeling, man?
Maintaining.
All right, man. Oh,
I'm here.
I'm here. You here?
Yeah.
You clear? I ain't breaking up enough, man. Am I?
Nah, you clear, man. You're clear.
Hey, Jalen Hurts played a masterful Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts did everything right in the Super Bowl. He made timely passes. He ran when he was supposed to at the right moment. He was calm. He was stoic. He played right in rhythm with the defense.
Mm-hmm.
Even when Saquon was being bottled up, he led the team in rushing.
Yep.
So, hey, man, the kid been this not nothing new to Jalen Hurts. He mentioned the Super Bowl already 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very well. He made that one mistake, but yes, the kid played amazing in the Super Bowl. As far as him comparing to Lamar, like you say, Lamar hasn't gotten it done in the playoffs yet, so I guess that's what's going to be held against him until we get it done, right?
It is. Because nobody's going to tell you that Jalen Hurts is as good or better than Lamar. Like, nobody's going to tell you that. Lamar, I think he's a tier up from Jalen Hurts. but when you don't have the hardware, it's hard to argue. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Hurts is a winner ever since high school, through college, through the NFL. He's a known winner.
Correct.
I remember that game they benched him for Tua.
Mm-hmm. But then remember the following year when Tua was thinking up the SEC title game, Jalen Hurts had to come in and save him.
They had to come in there and save him.
That's right.
He paid him. He's a winner. He's quiet. He's humble.
Mm-hmm.
He's not. He embodies what a quarterback should be.
I agree.
Him and Lamar.
Yeah, no question. I agree. Not getting no argument from me.
Unfortunately, Lamar hasn't won the championship yet.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be against him, but he's not. Jalen Hurts is not better than Lamar Jackson.
No, not at all.
But it's a but. Jalen got the ring and he's been there twice already. So, and yes, the NFC is easier than the NFC is easier than the AFC. But
yes.
Hey, shit. If Eagles just ran through Kansas City like it was nothing.
They did. They sure did.
What does that say about the Eagles running through KC like that? The big juggernaut.
Right.
The Kansas City Invitational. That's what they call the Super Bowl.
That's
in the
what they
AFC
call it. Right.
In front of Taylor Swift and Travis, man, in front of Taylor Swift, they did that like that.
Uh-huh.
I mean, bullies.
Yeah.
Shout out to Jim Carter. I think he got Hall of Fame potential. I see it already. I foresee, right? He's giving me one sack.
Yeah, he's a beast. He attracts so much defensive attention. Yeah.
Yes. He's nasty. He like punching. He's dirty. Y'all like he's from the old club for real. In Philly, unfortunately for Philly, they all young. They're young up there. So
yeah.
Cooper DeJean, a superstar safety in the making.
He's 22.
Yes. Cooper DeJean, number 33 for Philadelphia. He's starting to make. They got young superstars in the making, man, that they drafted. Go Georgia. I know you're not an SEC guy, so I'm just saying. Wow. Cooper DeJean come out of Iowa, right?
Yep. Big Ten.
So, man, hey, man, that defensive line, man. And one thing I respect about the Phillies, the Eagles organization, they go out and get the guys they need to get. The Eagles been in the mix for the past 5, 7 years. They've been in 3 Super Bowls the past 7 years.
Yep, and they won 2 of them. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I mean, come on now. The Ravens haven't been in the Super Bowl for 13 years.
That's right.
It's getting a little long in the tooth.
Yeah, it is. It's coming though. It's coming,
but yeah. I mean, I think falls like on, you know what I'm saying? So I'm just giving the Eagles their flower as a fan of football.
Right.
They played great. The defensive line played great. I never seen anything like that in the Super Bowl. And the same thing Tampa Bay did to him, though. Same thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
If you could get that big push, get your D tackles to get up the middle like that, man, and that is terrible.
Well, remember what was that Super Bowl 34 when Baltimore beat the Giants? Was that 34? They did the same thing. Completely locked them up. Big Goose and McCrary and them defensive line completely dominated. So you've seen it. It's just been a while.
And on the Lamar side, fortunate man. Great game. Hey, made mistakes in the division like we all saw that cost us, and we also had some redemption, but it didn't finish well. So
came up just short. Yeah.
So hey man, it's growing pains. You know, sometimes it takes the great a decade to get their first ones. You know?
That's true. Yeah. We saw it with John Elway. Yeah, that's right.
So hey, his time is coming. It's just like it's destiny. Like yeah. So as far as let's get to this part. I see somebody in the chat saying, I heard you mention it about 2 black brothers in the image. But I seen somebody in the chat said something about Lamar is judged by the way he look, and that's it has some truth to
it. Yeah. Unfortunately, there is some truth to that.
It really does. It's stereotypes with that. More clean cut and Not saying that I'm not judging no man. Pause,
No. I get what you're saying. Yeah, nobody's saying you do. Come on, man.
Guy, nice jawline, Lamar gold ski mask, more.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. So that's most definitely gonna play a role in it. That's unfortunately that's how society is in today, and always has been. I mean, so image most definitely plays a big part in everything in society. Your appearance,
human nature, man, human nature.
Yes. So how do you feel about it?
About what?
What I just said about the image and all that stuff.
So I think that's two different things we're talking about, right? So let me say this. I don't think any of that comes into play when you are, not you being you, but you, general term, are criticizing Lamar for coming up short in the biggest moments, right? I don't think any of that has anything to do with anything. Because as I've always said, part of my personal opinion, I can't speak for everyone, my personal opinion is the reason that Lamar gets the criticism he gets is because everyone knows how incredible he is. And so it's like, damn, like, come on, man. We just want to see that when we need to see it. You know what I'm saying? Everybody knows how great he is. We just want to see it at the most important of times. That's my opinion. Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that's my thought. So I don't think that the how he talks or the appearance comes into play at all in terms of the criticism that he receives. I honestly don't. My opinion is just that if he came up big in those moments, it would all be irrelevant. I really do.
Good point taken.
Yeah.
Good point taken. That's a great perspective. But you don't. But I watch, I listen, I watch, I read. That shit most definitely, and it's like that for some people. But you're right though. You're all right. But some people think that way.
You're right. But what do they say though? They always say, "What is it? Winning is the biggest or the best perfume or whatever." You know.
Yes.
So, just win, baby. Is what Great Al Davis said. Just win, baby.
Hey, my man. I'll call back on the next topic.
No doubt, man. I appreciate you.
All right, champ.
All right. All right. Thank you, Bruce. Appreciate it. Appreciate the interaction. Let's go ahead and let's get to the main topic of the night. This one I thought was interesting, right? So, what do I mean by this, right? And personally, I thought there never should have been a debate. This is the problem, right? With modern sports, we're in this situation where every time you get somebody that shows that they're really, really special, like generationally special, we always get into this, everything got to be a GOAT debate. And it's like, come on, man, chill. Can we give dudes time for their careers to kind of play out or get close to, the back nine or what have you of their careers? Why is it that halfway through or a quarter way through, I think Mahomes is more halfway through, that we got to start really with this GOAT debate stuff? Like, has Mahomes shown that he could be on a trajectory of being one of the greatest of all time? Yes. But right now, if you ask me, and this is my show, so I'm going to tell you anyway, if you ask me, I believe that Tom Brady is so far ahead of anybody else that there shouldn't be any GOAT discussion. Now, if Mahomes had continued on, let's say he got this 3P, right? Which is something that no one else has ever done in the history of the game, in the history of the NFL, win 3 Super Bowls in a row, right? Let's say he had done that. Then you start saying like, whoa, wait a minute, this guy, he's like nothing we've ever seen before. This level of success he's had this early in his career is like inconceivable, right? That would have really put him on the path. He would have had 4 titles already, more than halfway there to Tom Brady. Tom Brady has 7. But for me, and this is the thing, man, this is where people get it wrong. And it's frustrating because then people want to lump me into this mistaken mindset or whatever, which I do not have and have never espoused, that rings are everything, right? And I'm going to say it again. For me, when you're talking about a GOAT debate, what encompasses these debates or my particular evaluations of a player? Eye test, always look at, how do they look when I watch them play? Eye test is important. Stats are important. Awards and accomplishments are important. Winning is important, right? So it's 4 different things. It's not just, oh, this person got more rings than that person is better. Like, that's stupid, right? It is ridiculous. Yeah, you're right. So Laker Nation says, Bruce, sports media always does this when a young talent does amazing things, compare them to the greats before them. That's cool. You can compare. I mean, because sometimes you look at a player and say, damn, the way they do this reminds me of that, or the way they do that reminds me of this. For instance, you could probably look at Mahomes and say the way he plays is reminiscent of Elway. You could probably look at what's my man's name, Josh Allen, and say the way he plays is reminiscent of Brett Favre. But does it have to be who's better between the two of them? No, it doesn't have to be that, right? My thing is, before any of that, like, let more of these guys' careers play out. I think that's so important. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I really don't get it. But regardless, obviously that's super important in the modern day sports media. That's easy, low hanging fruit to go to, right? GOAT debates. So anyway, how did this even come about? Obviously, Pat Mahomes played in his third, and the Kansas City Chiefs, not just Mahomes, but Pat Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs played in their third straight Super Bowl this past Sunday, Super Bowl 59. And had they won, as I mentioned, that would have been the first time anyone ever three-peated, that is, win 3 straight Super Bowls in a row. That's never been done before, so that would have put him not in rare historical air, but in never before achieved historical air, right? And chances are, even if they had gotten that done, it would have been highly likely that we see it again, right? It's extremely rare that you get the confluence of an all-time great quarterback, an all-time great head coach, and it all kind of lines up together perfectly, right? We don't generally see that too often, which is why we don't see the level of dominance that often, right? Laker Nation called in earlier. We saw it with the 49ers, right? With Bill Walsh and Joe Montana, right? And then I think George Seifert right after Bill Walsh. Is it Seifert? Yeah. But the point is, we saw it with Bill Walsh and Joe Montana. We saw it for 2 decades with Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. Now we're seeing it with Andy Reid and Joe Montana. And so the question was getting posed, well, if it would have been now, for instance, we got to look at this and we say, okay, Pat Mahomes has never in his career as a starter not seen the AFC Championship game, right? Which is crazy to imagine. 7 straight AFC title games, right? They're looking like the old Patriots back in the day. Oh, look who's here. Uh-oh. Right on time. Oh, boy. Let's get it. Look who's here. What's good, Transformer? What's
going on, man? What's going on? How you doing?
I'm maintaining, man. It's good to see you, brother. How was dinner?
Man. It was good, man. It was good. My daughter, she loves Texas Roadhouse, so that's what she wanted. That's what we go give her. So,
man, my kind of lady. That's what's up.
Huh?
Happy birthday, Mariah. Happy birthday.
Oh, absolutely. She said thank you before she went to go get ready for bed and stuff like that. It's still school tomorrow, so.
Got you. No doubt. Man, it's good to see you. Good to see you.
Absolutely.
So you came in right at the right time, man. I'm excited to get your feedback on this. So obviously we were hearing all of this, prior to the Super Bowl. If Mahomes wins, where is he in the GOAT debate? How much closer is he to Brady? You heard some people in the mainstream sports media say if Brady wins, then he will actually be the GOAT. Not Brady, I'm sorry. If Mahomes wins, he will actually be the GOAT because he will have done something that not even Brady has done, and that's obviously be the only person ever to win 3 straight Super Bowl championships, right?
Yeah.
Not 3 straight NFL championships, but 3 straight Super Bowl championships. So obviously that not an easy achievement at all, right? Everything kind of has to fall in line perfectly, and we saw that it just didn't happen, right? So we got all this in place. Obviously, the Chiefs got their butts kicked, and Philly went in there and really took it to them and took it from them. And so now we have a totally different argument. The argument now is, can Mahomes catch Brady? What would it take to catch Brady? Is the GOAT debate over? Personally, I don't even think it was a debate as of yet, right? Because the thing is, I think it's such lazy, low-hanging fruit that we just say, okay, Brady's got 7 chips, he's the GOAT. No, Brady also has all the stats, and he's got 3 league MVPs, right? He's got all the winning, he's got all the stats, he's got the awards. Like, there's nothing Brady doesn't have. And he had a mastery of the game that very few have ever had. Am I right? In terms of
Correct.
Mentally and physically, right?
Absolutely.
So, right. So all these things in place. So let's go ahead and let me start here, Transformer. First, if Mahomes and the Chiefs had won this Super Bowl, do you think it would have put him closely in GOAT discussion with Tom Brady? And
absolutely, because he would have been second, at minimum second. My opinion, he would have passed Joe Montana. He would have passed Steve Young. He would have passed. I mean, of course, he already passed Peyton and those guys in my eyes. When it comes to the championship and the winning perspective, that would have put him at 4 Super Bowls. He would have been the only person with a 3-peat. So he's at minimum second in this conversation. But that's not what we're talking about. He already lost the game. So that was in hindsight, trying to predict what he could have become. But now, as it stands, he's a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Right.
Two-time? I think he's two-time.
Two-time league MVP.
Two-time league MVP. He's only 28 years old, 28 or 29. So he's very, very early in his career. He could play at least another 10, 12 years, especially the way the rules are being done to where you as a quarterback can play for forever almost. I feel like Aaron Rodgers is about to go to the Steelers and he's 42, about to be 41, 42.
He might not be the Steelers, man. He could go a lot of places, man.
Might be the Steelers. Him and Mike Tomlin been winking at each other for 5, 6 straight years. So
I forgot about the winking.
They've been winking at each other for quite some time. So I wouldn't be shocked if he goes anywhere other than Pittsburgh. But at the time, did it place Patrick Mahomes closer in that GOAT debate? It absolutely did. Did this loss mean it's over? Absolutely not. The man still has a lot of his career left. He's so early in his career. We can't predict what's going to happen in the next 10 years. He still has opportunities where he can make 2, 3, 4, 5 more Super Bowls. The man has a career in its entirety. He's not made it to less than an AFC Championship game.
Respect due for that.
That's in its entirety. His whole time, he's been the guy. He hasn't been less than an AFC Championship contender.
The GOAT debate is over. Let me tell you why it's over. Pat Mahomes got a lot of career left, right? Andy Reid doesn't. What's he got? Maybe 5 years left? That's not going to be enough time to catch Brady. That's the difference to me. Because we get
you're going to blame, you're going to say when Andy Reid's gone, Pat can't be Pat no more?
I don't think it's going to be the same, man. I don't.
You're either a great quarterback or you're not, Bruce.
But we're talking about everything that it takes to, yes, you'll still be a great quarterback. We're talking about everything it takes to win Super Bowls, though. That's different. It's going to be very difficult for someone else to come in and maintain that and be able to, even with Pat, to lead him to championships. I think that they're so perfectly symbiotic together in this championship chase that if one of them is not there, it's not going to work the same. That's my thought. And
I think I would
Andy
rather
Reid
have Patrick Mahomes than Andy Reid.
That is fair.
I mean,
no. I don't
minimum, because the thing about what can happen from Andy Reid to Patrick Mahomes, you've been in that system for 12 to 13 years. What did you take from it? Right? Like he can still carry on what Andy Reid was coaching. All of his playbook, all of the plays that he ran for 13 at this, we're assuming, another 5 years from Andy Reid, right? So at this point, another 5 years will put Patrick Mahomes at what, 12, 13 years in his career? At that point, you're a seasoned vet. You know what's in front of you. You've seen every single defense. You've seen every single offense. You've been coached by Andy Reid your entire career. I believe he still has a chance with Andy or not. He still has a very great chance. You get just a decent enough offensive coordinator in there. He's like, hey, I got the tools to get it done. Because at the end of the games, a lot of the game-winning drives, a lot of them just off of theatrics of Patrick Mahomes. Andy Reid's calling the play, but it's quite often Pat is checking out of that play and making his own play down the field. He's scrambling with his legs. He's making the change at the line of scrimmage. So you gotta call an even kill. I don't think that if Patrick Mahomes loses Andy Reid, then it's all over. Tom Brady went to Tampa Bay and won a Super Bowl.
That's not what I'm saying, and I hear you, and I don't disagree with anything you said. But I'm not saying that it's all over when when Andy Reid steps away. I just think it's going to be a lot harder to win without him. I think.
What do you think that elevates him more?
If he could get another one,
Yeah.
Without Andy Reid?
Without Andy Reid, yeah.
I think it would be huge. I think it would be huge because it's my honest opinion that I think I've said it. Mahomes got all the tools, but I don't know if he would be what he is if he didn't have Andy Reid from the beginning.
He unlocked him early. Andy, like that's a kudos to Andy Reid and that team. They let him be who he was early. If you was it Texas Tech? He played for Texas Tech.
Yeah.
And like he was a gunslinger. They knew what he was. Like he's just
Transformer. Looks like we dropped out here.
I dropped out.
I think it's on my end. Damn it.
Can you hear me?
Hold on, man. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're fine. What you mean we dropped out?
I lost you. There we go. Can you hear me?
Yeah. What's going? You all right?
Yeah, I think it's on my end. Yeah, it dropped out and had to come back in. Pardon me.
Okay.
Apologies. Yeah.
I'm over here. I'm looking at the time. I'm like, but the clock is moving. We still live. Everything.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. Young disciple. I don't know if I can go as far as to say Brady made Bill.
Nah.
I mean, obviously,
they made each other.
They did. Now, obviously, Brady won the divorce, and Brady showed that he was arguably the bigger part of that successful teaming, no doubt. But I think it's a stretch to say he made Bill. I think they really worked well together. But I do agree with your point when you say Brady's been. I'm sorry, not Brady. Mahomes has been humiliated twice in Super Bowls, where I think Brady has lost 3 Super Bowls by a total of like 15 points.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, when Mahomes loses, he gets destroyed. Like that's something we might want to think about.
Yeah, that last one was pretty bad. I mean, the first one we gave him a little bit of an out because he lost his whole line, but boy,
not this time.
That they only ran 4 the whole time. They didn't call no blitzes.
Nothing.
No crazy scheme. No nothing. Just, hey, we're throwing 4.
We're gonna line up
every time.
That's right.
It was work, man.
Young disciple. I understand what you're saying when you say
he was already a champion before Brady got there. By the way,
twice.
Yep. Bill was already a champion. If you didn't know, young disciple, he was already a champion.
He's probably referring to him as a head coach.
Still, defensive coordinators still should get the same credit as coaches do.
Hell yeah! Because remember when they beat the Bills, the Bills had just coming off hanging 51 on the Raiders in the AFC title game that year.
Mm-hmm. And what did Bill do to that defense?
They held them to 19.
We're clamping. We're clamping everything.
Yeah,
young disciple. No I'll just let you live on that one, bro. If you don't think they do, then why have them?
Great point. I'm sure Spags got something to say about that. I'm sure Fangio got something to say about that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Bill Belichick is one of the best defensive minds this game has ever seen.
Ever. Dick LeBeau got something to say about that.
You got to think. Pretty much every time Tom went to the Super Bowl, his defense was top 5, if not top 3. Damn near every time.
Yeah.
That's the Bill effect. Brady's throwing the ball. Defense checks everything on the other side of that ball.
Right.
You know, then he got over the course of career, Josh McDaniels, and the offensive coordinators. Yes. So, but to say Brady made Bill was a championship defensive mind before Brady ever set foot in the league. So that's just unfair to Bill to say that.
But in fairness, I do get what young disciple is saying, because as a head coach, Belichick wasn't great prior to having Brady, whether it's in Cleveland or New England, nor was he great post Brady. So I get it. Like you can look at that 2 ways.
They coexisted together.
Yeah, man.
It was a perfect harmony. You got the best defensive mind, and then you grab a great quarterback like that. Like, damn, I got one side. Because typically you look at it like the Green Bay Packers. We had a great quarterback. Defense was middle of the pack.
I knew that was coming.
Ranked 20th, and it's like we getting destroyed by Atlanta. We can't guard nobody in San Francisco. Getting cooked off the line. Getting just straight cooked on defense. Bill was handling that. So to say that's what I said. Like they coexisted together. You can't say Brady made Bill when Bill's defense put Brady in a lot of situations to win football games.
Right.
So that's what I said. I mean, you got to give him credit. I'm not gonna say neither one of them made each other. They both grew their names together. Their names exploded together.
Right.
Yeah.
But back to the topic. I do feel like I feel like at least for quite a while this GOAT debate is over. It would take at this point, Mahomes would have to do a lot. I don't know if he's got to get 8, but he's got to do a lot to pass Brady. Because remember, again, it's not just the rings, man. It's the rings, it's the awards, it's the stats. Like everything is there for Brady. He's not missing anything. So
as far as may not be the GOAT, but he's obviously top 5. Am I not wrong? Is he top 5?
Easily
top 5.
Are you talking about Mahomes or
Mahomes? No, not Brady. Brady's the cream of the crop. That's over. That conversation's dead.
He's probably top 5. Mahomes,
probably top 5.
Yeah, he's probably
because you got not Dan Marino. You got John Elway. You got Tom Brady. Trying to think of yours without you naming them all.
Brett Favre.
Come on, man, hush. I'm trying to think.
Hold on, let's take this. I think this young disciple. Let's take this, and we'll get back to it. Format Podcast. Hello.
What's up, man?
Hey, what's good, young disciple? How you doing, brother?
What's cracking?
Yeah, I'm chilling. Man, I'm chilling like a motherfucker. I mean, I'm chilling, man. Just chilling.
No doubt, brother.
Just trying to give a little input on that Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. I'm trying to say it was a perfect harmony and all that. That's false.
Okay.
That's false.
Go ahead.
The first year, I'm saying I'm not even going to talk about Cleveland years because and that's even though before he became Cleveland's head coach, because everybody want to act like Cleveland was before he became Cleveland head coach. Cleveland had been to the playoffs 4 out of 5 years.
That's true.
Before Bill Belichick got there, 4 out of 5 years, Cleveland had been to the playoffs and made deep playoff runs.
AFC Championship game. You're right. That's right.
Yes, Bill with that same team, with that same squad. The next, I believe, 3 to 4 years, losing seasons, and they only went to the playoffs once. Then after that, he went to New England. New England had just went to the Super Bowl. I want to say 2 years before. The same squad, 4-12 record. The next year was 0-2. The assistant coaches was ready to put their houses up for sale before Brady stepped in. Brady stepped in immediately. They go 11-3, win a Super Bowl. That's not Bill, man.
I hear what you're saying, and those are very valid points. I'm not arguing.
It's both. Yeah, we said that. We said both.
I think they just work so well together.
Brady is not winning a damn Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. He's not.
He did. He left there and did.
After 6. After. Come on now. Pay attention. Keep up, right? We're talking about Tom and Bill.
Hold on. Excuse me. Let me talk to Transform 101. Hey, bro, you saying he's not winning 6? Well, okay, that's easy to say. What's Bill winning without Tom at any point in time?
That's why I said both, bro. I didn't say neither one of them were winning at each other.
Bro. No, bro, it's not bro.
Yes, it is. Okay. What was the defensive rank for the defenses when Tom went through his first 3 championships? Name them. Call them out.
What was Bill defensive rank, nigga?
What was the rank when Tom Brady went to the first 3 Super Bowls? Keep it simple, brother. What was the ranking?
What you mean? What was the rank? What was the rank? It's a lot of things that play into defensive ranking, bro.
And who's the defensive minded coach there?
One of the main things is your starting quarterback, bro.
Okay, so Tom plays defense now.
Defense is not, bro.
Tom plays defense. Tom plays defense.
No, his quarterbacking plays defense.
Okay, so who's the defensive mind that helped Tom Brady get the ball back every time to make the game-winning drive? Who did that?
What you mean get the ball back? If that was the case, he would have stopped the Giants. He could have stopped the Giants with 2 minutes though. What was his defensive mind in?
Why didn't Tom outscore him then?
He did.
Why did Tom outscore him?
Tom
could have blew him out, right? If it's all Tom, Tom should have blew him out. If it's all Tom should have blew him out, right? It shouldn't have been close. They had the best offense in the league. What happened to the best offense in the league?
Bro, Super Bowls are gonna be hard, bro.
Oh, are they? It didn't look hard for Philly, so explain more.
Hey, bro, it didn't look hard for Tom.
Come on, man, putting holes in your argument, man. It's hard for Super Bowls. Look at Philly. Philly was up 40-6. It's hard. You're either the better team or you're not. Which one is it? You can't have both, man.
Did it look hard? Did it look hard for Tom when he left Bill?
It didn't. What was Tampa's defense? We had like Tampa was a horrible team.
That same Tampa defense, huh? The same Tampa defense with 7-9 without Tom.
Yeah, because how many turnovers did the quarterback have? 30.
Bro, so it's looking like Tom is the elixir then, nigga.
Yeah, all you gotta do is fix the offensive side of the ball. How hard is that to not turn the ball over 30 times? I'll be able to win a lot of games if I don't turn the ball over, right?
Bro, did Bill have quarterbacks that threw the ball over, that turned the ball over? Nigga, Bill had a.
First of all, stop saying the N-word, man. Stop saying the N-word. Correct yourself with the N-word, all right?
Bro, Bill had an all-pro quarterback, a 4-time Pro Bowler, and Drew Bledsoe before Tom got there.
Okay.
So what's up? No.
You didn't say anything. You just what was I supposed to say?
I'm saying, bro. I'm saying this is what I'm saying. I'm saying if you're hot garbage as a head coach, and that's what Bill is as a head coach. He's hot garbage. Without Tom Brady, he's under 500. Only been to the playoffs twice in his whole career, bro. Twice.
Okay.
Now let's do it. Now let's flip that around and talk about Tom's record without Bill. Like come on, bro. Like this, the same New England team. Like I'm saying, the defense that you saying he had, the perfect defense. He couldn't even get to the playoffs, bro. Like what are we talking?
So I want you want to respond to Tom Brady after spending his entirety career under Bill Belichick's system. The entire system, his coaching staff,
he did know
his coaching culture, the New England coach. He was there his whole career. What are you talking about?
Culture.
Let me finish. Let me finish. I'll let you talk. Didn't I? I'll let you talk. Right? The Bill Belichick culture, the Bill Belichick system, because every player that ever plays for Bill always mentions that's a culture. You either in there or you not. So he takes that same mentality over years of breeding and breeding Tom Brady the way he is. Tom Brady is the way he is because of Bill Belichick.
False. Go ahead, though.
You finished? How is that false? Where did Tom learn winning from?
With any other quarterback? Why did his coach work with any other quarterback, though?
Because every coach needs to find the right quarterback. What sense does that make? If that's the case, then every great coach should win with any quarterback. Andy Reid should have won with Michael Vick and what's his name? Brian McNabb.
That's disingenuous.
I said Brian McNabb.
That's disingenuous. I didn't say any. What I'm saying is that the Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid. That's
Drew Bledsoe.
Until we see Pat, it's because Andy Reid has had success without Pat Mahomes. He just hadn't won a Super Bowl. Bill Belichick had no success, none without Bill. Without Tom, none. I'm saying none. He took over successful. Successful programs or successful organizations and did nothing but get fired. It's like he got fired when Tom left. Why? I'm saying if he get, because basically you saying what you said is Bill.
I said they're both. I said they got it together. I didn't say not one was greater than the other.
No. You said his culture made Tom what it was. That's what you said, right?
Yes.
What was the culture before Tom?
The same as it always been. Defensive minded, come in there, be buttoned up. I don't want superstars. I want somebody that's going to come in who's going to want to play. I don't want theatrics. Bill has always been that way.
No, he has not, bro. And what do you call Tom Brady if he don't want superstars?
But
do you not understand the point?
I don't
he's
think
not
Brady
flamboyantly a superstar.
Right, he wasn't.
We're talking like the Antonio Browns, the Aaron Rodgers, the ones that are talking out the side of their neck. Tom was always buttoned up, If you look at Tom Brady in Tampa versus Tom Brady in New England, Tom Brady in Tampa was a different animal. He was a different animal because he was able to be free.
Y'all talking about culture, Bruce. Listen, Bruce. Listen, yo. There is no culture, bro, without Tom. You have to win to have a culture, bro.
So what I will say, listen, I think both of you got good points, right? What I'll say is this. No, hold on. I got you, young disciple, and I agree with a lot of what you're saying. However, what I will also say is that the culture, and I see what Transformer's saying, the culture that Bill Belichick built is what allowed Tom Brady to become what he became. So I see both sides of what y'all got.
Bruce, it wasn't no culture built until Tom. Bro, this is what I'm saying, Bruce, because this is killing me.
Okay.
Y'all, listen. Y'all saying Bill Belichick culture is what allowed Tom to be Tom or get to where he was. So why didn't that culture allow Drew Bledsoe to do the same thing? There was can y'all explain to me what was the culture before Tom got there?
So what I'll say is this, right? We don't necessarily know what Drew Bledsoe would have become under Belichick. Do we know? How long did he play under Belichick? A year and a half before he got hurt?
A season and 3 games.
Okay, right. So
that's enough time, right?
So what I'm saying with that, young disciple is
it's not enough time, but 3 games for 3 games with Tom Brady. 3 games that Tom Brady started once he got hurt. Y'all saying 18 games is not enough time for blah 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 day. But Tom Brady, 3 games in was enough for Bill Belichick to never ever look at Drew Bledsoe again, nigga, and take him off the bench. Y'all are killing me right now, man.
Well, what I will say is, I think it's also fair to say, man, Tom Brady was different, right? I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Tom is definitely
that also play. So you know what I kind of liken it to, young disciple, on the NBA front. It's like what's my man's name in San Antonio? Coach Pop and Tim Duncan, right? So Coach Pop got his way, he got his culture. Now you could say he didn't win prior to Tim Duncan, he hasn't won since, right?
That's true.
That's true. Right. But what I'm saying is having a player like Tim Duncan, and Tim Duncan will tell you what Popovich's system, systems plural because they ran different systems over the time, but what Popovich's culture allowed him to do. And you look at things like when Pop was, everybody said like Pop would rip Tim Duncan publicly in the meetings, in the team meetings. Why? Because everybody knew that if he can go at the star like that, anybody could get it, basically, right? And so everybody had to be in line, everybody had to do their thing. And it was kind of like the same thing with Tom Brady. So when you have a certain type of guy that allows you to coach him in a certain way, that helps to set that system. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I'm saying is everyone might not be the type of player to allow you to do that, which allows your system to work the way Brady did it. You know what I'm saying?
That's my whole thing, bro. Like I'm saying, what I'm hearing y'all, I'm hearing y'all say stuff like it was a perfect, it was a perfect marriage, all that. No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying it's the flip side. Tom Brady's, I'm saying his excellence is what allowed Bill Belichick coach all this culture stuff. Like this is what I'm saying. If it's culture, right? This is how I look at it. Culture. If it's culture, that means the players. I'm not gonna say that they're replaceable. Which is how Bill Belichick. And that's what I'm saying. Bill Belichick's culture and the way he did things. Yes, that was successful as long as he had Tom. Now let's on the flip side. See, Tim Duncan never left Pop. Because if he did and then won a ring, it would be looked at as totally different. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady does not get the same amount of credit. There's no way, no how. It's none of that. Because y'all was just stating what players said, right? Now let's go to the other things that players said as far as Bill and Tom go. Asante Samuel said Bill wouldn't be nothing without Tom. Citing, giving the thanks and appreciation to the offensive coordinator. Like Bill Belichick had nothing to do with the offense. Like, you get what I'm saying?
That's why we said okay, never mind.
I mean, you can.
It's hard to get it through to you, bro. I mean, I don't understand.
I think both of y'all got points. Real talk. I think both of you guys.
I don't think he has 1 point because the man has done nothing. All I'm saying is the man has done nothing with nothing.
But have top 5 defenses. I don't get it. I don't get it.
Hey, top 5
because we say defenses win championships, not offense.
Man,
I hear that conversation.
Hey, that's that. Man, that's a saying, and people say that and all that. That's cool, come collected, like cool. But if defense wins championships, right? You just said that this man had top 5 defenses all these years, right? So if defense wins championships, that means Bill Belichick don't need Tom Brady.
That's why I said I never said one needed more than the other. I said perfect harmony. And you said one person was the only guy. Because I'm looking at when Tom Brady first started playing in his first season, 18 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, not crazy numbers. But then in the playoffs, Tom had one touchdown. Let me finish. I'll let you talk. Let me finish. Hush. I'll let you finish. Hush. I'll let you finish. Hush. Playoffs. Tom Brady only had one touchdown, one interception for the entirety playoffs. Do you know they won that Super Bowl that year? Do you know the defensive rank of that team?
Yes, bro. Yes, against the Rams. Yes. Yeah. Now let's state hold on. Let's state everything. You Googling it. It's in my head. Okay. The first year, the first game.
A lot of bad stuff is in your head, by the way. You love.
Let him talk. Transformer. Let the man talk.
Yeah. Transformer. You Googling. Let me give you game. The first game. Since you want to state stats. I'm saying the first game. That's in the playoffs. That was the tuck rule. They playing in below freezing weather. That will tell you. I don't think one team scored a touchdown in that game. The AFC
sounds like good defense, right?
The AFC it was inclement weather, bro. Let's be real.
Oh, it's inclement weather now. That's an excuse. Got it. Go.
So inclement weather don't play a factor into your throwing stats?
No, continue going. I'm just saying you gave an excuse. That's still an excuse, no matter what you want to call it. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, if that's an excuse, then stop giving Bill Belichick these excuses. The AFC Championship game, bro. The AFC Championship game, he got hurt in the second quarter. He got hurt in the second quarter and didn't come back. So I'm saying why you say stats. So what I'm saying is that the same player. I'm saying the stats that you're stating. The same player. Why did Bill throw him back in there in the Super Bowl?
Why didn't he?
Why did he?
Because the team had a flow with him, like pretty much.
What type of question was that? You want your starting quarterback gets first team reps throughout the entirety of the season. He's the one that knows every play, every call. Why would I switch that in the biggest game of the year? Why? That makes no sense.
What do you mean, bro?
No,
I'm saying.
Young Disciple was asking he's saying if it was all the.
You don't know what I'm saying, bro.
He's saying like if it was all the defense, then why is it? Oh, okay. If it was all the defense, then why didn't you? Why did they put him back in and risk it, even though he got injured in the AFC title game?
Because you're not stupid. You play your best players. You're not dumb. I didn't say he had to be dumb.
You put him out there.
You play your guys. What? That's dumb.
But look, Young Disciple, man.
Give me 2 more minutes, bro.
Okay, go ahead. Land the plane, Young Disciple. Land the plane.
This plane is floating up there in the clouds somewhere.
Man, chill, Transformer. Let him talk.
Okay, look. When I hear perfect marriage, like cool. When I hear perfect marriage, to me that sounds like 50-50. Is that what y'all saying?
There's a defense, there's an offense. Is that not?
Nah, bro, it's deeper than that. I'm saying.
It's deeper than that. Special teams. You're right. Special teams. You're right.
No, I'm just saying. Well, you can kick jokes, bro. That's cool. That's cool.
I know I'm a very funny individual. Thank you for asking.
When y'all say, man, bro, when y'all saying perfect marriage, I don't want to know. All y'all saying it was 50-50.
I'm saying if I had to choose, I go Brady 60-40. I would, but I'm not. I can't go as far as you as to say like it was all Brady. I can't go that far, but I do think Brady. I think okay. Bruce, I
didn't say that.
Okay, my bad. I misunderstood that.
If you want me to give a percentage, it's 80-20.
Okay. I don't even think I could go that far either. But you make an argument though.
Bro, I don't say that if Belichick had this is what I'm saying, Bruce.
Bruce, I'm saying in all these seasons that Bill Belichick was the head coach of any squad, he only been to the playoffs twice. Like, what are we saying? Y'all mean to tell me I'm not even asking him to get to the Super Bowl? I'm not even asking him to do what Andy Reid did and go and make deep playoff runs, go to NFC championship games 4 years in a row. I'm not even asking him to do that. I'm just asking him to get to the playoffs, bro. And he only did that twice in his whole entire career. Now, look, bro. Brady went to a team that was below 500. Had a coach that ain't never won nothing. Defensive coordinator, all these like and immediately went to the Super Bowl. Immediately made deep playoff runs.
Like that team was trash.
I'm just saying, bro. If a coach haven't won nothing, like years and years, 70 years old, and then Brady show up and like, I mean,
so you finally got your guy. That's what it sounds like to me. You got your guy. A lot of coaches go through that, bro. So they find their guy and they start winning.
Hey, but it's crazy that Tom Brady is always that guy, though. Like that's crazy to me. Like that's crazy to me, bro.
Yeah, he had him for what, 20 seasons?
Brady is that guy. Like, come on, man. In his 40s. Come on, man.
Young disciple, man. I appreciate the call, man. Thanks so much. We got to move on, but appreciate you, man. Good call.
So he gave Bill credit.
No, let's go Celtics, man. Beat LA. Man. All right, young disciple. Thank you, brother.
All right, man.
That was good, man. Oh, here go Laker Nation. Laker Nation was good.
Hey, what's up, Transformer?
What's crack-a-lackin', big dog?
What's up, Bruce, again?
What's up, Laker Nation?
Oh, he said, what's up, Bruce, again? Okay, I thought he said, tell Bruce again. Gotcha.
Oh, yeah, I called earlier. We was having a spirited debate with me and Bruce hung up on me because he didn't like what I was saying.
What was it about? I missed it. What happened?
Oh, no, you know it wasn't even like that.
It was Montana and Brady. He took Brady, I took Montana.
Okay.
But we had a stalemate because I was like, well, what was like Brady had Gronk, and he was like, well, Montana had Rice, and we kind of hit a stalemate on that one because you can't talk bad about either one of them.
I mean, they're both Hall of Famers. All of them are Hall of Famers. That's quite a.
So we was like, boom. So I was like, okay. But y'all kind of got off track on that call.
Yeah.
I think y'all was talking about Mahomes and Brady.
Yes, Mahomes and Brady. Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Man, y'all gotta get this. Look, all I'm gonna say is this: everybody's basically shitting on Mahomes now, which is what fanatics do when somebody that loses that they want to see lose.
Absolutely.
There's a reason why everybody rooting against Mahomes because they comparing him to Brady for a reason.
I don't think it's a function of crapping on Brady. Laker Nation.
I didn't say Brady.
Mahomes. I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't think it's a function of crapping on Mahomes. I think it's a function of, at least for me personally, it was too early already to start any GOAT discussions. So now it's like, not only did they get beat, but they got smoked and ramrodded. So let's really back up off that. And we got a lot of time before that discussion even needs to be revisited. That's what I'm saying. Nobody's saying he's not still great or not still arguably the best quarterback in the league. Let's just chill. That's all I'm saying. I don't know about anybody else, but that's what I'm saying.
What's boiling my blood right now is that y'all not giving Philly's defense the credit they deserve.
Of course we are. We did that from.
They took Mahomes out of the. He was a non-factor that whole first half.
Did you see when we did the Super Bowl freaking wrap up? That's what we was talking about. We definitely get. Listen, if you know me, you know I'm going to give the Philly defense love. You know that.
Transformer. When you do the roll the tape back, and you can watch the chat and listen to what Bruce was saying, it was all Jalen Hurts.
That was the topic. The topic was Hurts versus
Transformer.
Transformer.
I'm the only one in here saying the truth.
Oh my gosh!
It was easier for her to do what she did with your defense. Got the greatest quarterback in the game right now on clamp.
Except that's disingenuous because
that is not disingenuous.
It's disingenuous because the freaking Eagles started the scoring.
He had 25 yards. How was that disingenuous?
It's disingenuous because Jalen Hurts and the Eagles' offense started the scoring. That's how it's disingenuous.
Who got the ball first?
Philly.
They started the scoring.
And what did Mahomes do when he got the ball?
Nothing. Nada.
And then what did Hurts do when he got the ball back?
Scored again.
So what happened when Mahomes got the ball back?
Nothing.
Okay.
You can repeat that segment like 10 more times. He scored pretty much every time. And Mahomes could do nothing.
When the other elite guy is sitting on the sideline more, and you have more opportunities, to make plays, and if you're that good, you're going to make them.
Did Jalen Hurts have to make them? He made them, right? And he made them while his star player on offense got completely bottled up. That's what we were saying. So, Transformer, let me clarify for you, since Laker Nation is fronting like he want to be a little dishonest here. First of all, the topic was about. You see the name of the second topic, right? Transformer.
Hurts versus Lamar. Yep, I see.
Right, and you saw the notes that I sent you about this, right? So this wasn't. That's why I didn't talk a lot about the defense, because it was about what Jalen Hurts has done and Lamar Jackson and how that's going to affect people's perception of Lamar going forward, right? That's what we talked about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, just checking. Okay.
The problem with human beings, they always want to be right.
Oh yeah, see, y'all don't like me because I'm right most of the time. See, that's the problem.
I never, when you roll back the tape, I never did say that, Hurts, he is play well.
I didn't say you said that.
What I said, which Bruce is moving the goalpost on it, what I said was, it's easier when your defense is putting your opponent on clamp. It's easier to make those plays. There's no pressure. As the game went along, it was less pressure to make those plays. So yeah, he took more risks that he wouldn't have took if the game was close.
And
y'all football heads know that.
And Transformer, I took that back to the previous Super Bowl that he played against the Chiefs when he outplayed Mahomes and he didn't have the defense doing what it did this one. So I really don't understand what Laker Nation is trying to do here.
Talk, y'all.
Yeah, this is genuous.
You're arguing like I said Hurts was hot garbage.
That's not what I'm saying. No, I didn't say
that's what you're saying. I'm saying that's how you're arguing.
That's not what I'm arguing. What I'm doing is clarifying how you are misrepresenting my position. That's all I'm doing.
I ain't misrepresenting nothing.
Steve, chill, man. He's not the greatest quarterback of all time, but go Irish. Never mad at that.
Yeah, he is. But going back to this topic here.
Have a good day.
I'm going to say this. I'm going to leave Montana out of this because he never lost. He never lost a Super Bowl, but okay.
Man, that's what they do for Jordan. But go ahead.
You can't knock one guy because he got smoked by a great defense when Brady lost to a great defense too.
Oh my goodness.
Going 19-0. Heavy favorites to blow them out.
But no. See, here's where you're being disingenuous again.
Bruce, before you start chiming in.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead so I can dismantle this. Go ahead.
No, it's your show. You ain't gonna dismantle nothing.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Ooh, talk that talk, bro. Talk that talk.
Dismantle this. but you're not gonna let me give me the time because I'm on the phone and not on the panel.
Yeah, I mean, we got a show to do. But go ahead, say what you guys say.
Yeah,
man.
but you're not gonna give me the time to dismantle your dismantling because I'm not on the panel.
Laker Nation, go ahead, man. Say what you guys say,
I'm
bro.
on the phone. But if y'all gonna compare the two, y'all gotta be honest about all aspects. That Giants defense was fire. You know, he was supposed. I can't remember what the spread was, but he was supposed to dismantle them because they did it earlier in the regular. Well, no, they didn't. They barely eked that out.
Yeah.
Because they played like the last game of the season, I believe, right before the playoffs. And they were trying to go undefeated.
I think it was 38-35. New England won.
Yeah, it was a close game, and I always said that was a mistake. I said that was a mistake.
Yeah.
And the Super Bowl proved it. But they went against that great four-headed monster. So, bam. Mahomes did the exact same thing. Mahomes went against a four-headed monster and a great defense. The only difference is Brady's was close. His was a train wreck.
Exactly. That's a big difference.
Same thing when they went head-to-head. Everybody likes to say, oh, Brady beat them head-to-head. Yeah.
Smacked them.
But after this offensive line was on the injury list. Not making excuses, I'm just pointing out the fact.
Okay.
All right. Brady is a winner, yeah. He's been to more, but he's not flawless. In the Super Bowl, he had great teams too. So let's keep it a buck for both. Mahomes got a lot more to do. So I'm not gonna write him off. I gotta see, he's down right now. I gotta see how you respond. We saw how Brady responded when he lost. He got right back on the horse, got his team back up there. We're gonna see if Mahomes can do the exact same thing. He got a long career ahead of him before you can say, okay, when it's all said and done, okay, these are the top two. I'm not putting him up here. I'm not putting Mahomes up there with Brady yet. Yeah, he does some great things, but he's made it. You're comparing a small line of work to a Hall of Fame line of work. He's not there yet.
Over 20 years, yeah.
But everybody likes to do that. One quarterback loses a Super Bowl, and then it's all of a sudden, oh shit, the GOAT debate's over. He's tough. He can't do this. He can't do that. He's tough.
Right.
He does this and that. Man, come on now.
My bad.
I told you that's what you was gonna do. You're gonna kick me off.
I gotta call, man. I gotta keep this train moving, man. I appreciate you though.
See, Transformer, that's what he do.
I gotta take this call, man. I gotta take this.
When I say my point, he's kicking me off the phone.
We'll talk,
man. Don't do him like that.
Yeah, go ahead, Bruce. It's your show.
All right, brother. Thank you for the call, man. Brandon Bryce, call right back, man. Call right back. I missed you. Call right back. After that, Steve, and then we'll move on to the next topic, the final topic of the night. That one should be brief. Waiting on you, Brandon. Boop, boop, boop. Oh man. Boop, 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 boop. Waiting on you, Brandon. Call back.
Oh, I need these guys to tighten up. What's going on over here?
I don't know, man.
I mean, not that. My bad. I'm looking at the TV.
Okay. Oh, you know what? I keep forgetting. Like when I say call back, how long is the delay between us and what they hear?
It's not long because even when I'm looking at it, it's nowhere near long.
Okay, because sometimes I'm like call back and like the person takes forever to call back.
Like at the most.
Okay, there we go.
It depends if they rewind it or anything like that. Too.
Okay,
so they stopped it. Yeah.
What's up, B?
It was let me ask you a question before I start.
What you got?
I kind of let out what my dad do. Was YD trying to say that year of the Tuck rule, Brady was the man who was ripping it up? Was that what it was?
Wait. Ask it again.
Was YD basically saying Brady was the reason that year of the Tuck rule that the Patriots kicked off that dynasty?
I guess.
No, the only reason why I said that because I came in late on the show, so I was trying to figure out what was going on.
Well, no. So it ended up being we were talking how that happened was we were talking about obviously the debate between Brady and Mahomes, and then it ended up being that Young Disciple was basically saying I can't remember how. Oh, I was saying how I wasn't sure about whether I didn't think that Mahomes was going to be able to catch Brady because I think in maybe 4 to 5 years that what's his name, Andy Reid is going to retire. And I don't know if Mahomes is going to have the same magic without Andy Reid. So then it got into the coach quarterback thing, and then it got to Belichick and Brady. So yeah, that's how that went.
Well, I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, Drew Bledsoe was the starter, got injured, Tom took the spot. Tom moved with the team. Then when Bledsoe came back, he tried to put Bledsoe in, but he realized that a better flow with Brady, and that's what it was. Anyway.
Well, I think they only even try to put Bledsoe back. What's his name? Belichick didn't want it, but remember at the time,
he was getting paid, right?
Right at the time, that was Robert Kraft's guy, and he was the first $100 million man in the league. Exactly. So they was like, man, we got to put this guy back out there. But then Belichick was like, nah, this ain't working. And then they worked out obviously the trade and sent him to Buffalo.
Right. Okay, so now this Mahomes versus Brady thing.
Mm-hmm.
You got to understand why people see it. Look at the first 5-6 years of Mahomes' career. How many Super Bowl trips? How many playoff trips?
4, 5.
How many wins?
4 and
5. This is his 5th.
This is his 5th, right?
Yeah.
He was on the road. Now, just think, had they won last Sunday. Look at the road he's on.
It would have been 4 out of 5.
Brady picked up very quickly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So people think he has the ability to do something. I think if Andy decides to pull a Pete Carroll, he just might. But I think it's too early. And Bruce, you know me personally, I don't even think Tom would go.
Right.
But that's another story.
Who is your GOAT, by the way? Who would you go if you don't mind me asking?
Peyton
Manning.
Yes, sir.
I like that.
I'll break it down real quick. Bruce hates this crap real quick. The way I see it is this, right? People go, well, Michael's this good. Well, you can't discuss championship, right? Well, let's see.
Right.
Brady had the straight gate, 5 gate, and one more gate. No, the Tuck rule, okay?
Tuck rule, yeah.
They count.
And the Vinatieri game. Go ahead.
Exactly. So with that said, right? Those are 4 assets for a team. Then on top of that, you lost Eli twice. Okay? Then my other issue is I can't call you the GOAT if every year you, Peyton, and Drew Brees I got the most touchdowns this year. I got the most touchdowns next year. Right? Those records are going back and forth for years. So how can I call you the GOAT if there's 2, maybe 3 other peers that's breaking your record of battling with these records every year? Now, don't get twisted. I'll tell you, there's nobody better in the pocket present. Nobody present in the pocket is better than Tom Brady, period.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Peyton's the more cerebral quarterback. So I think, to me, Peyton is the greatest quarterback. Tom Brady's the winningest quarterback. Don't take nothing from Tom, though.
I like that argument. I do like that argument.
But the point there, you have to see why people are saying that with Mahomes and think that this boy really can do it. And I'll be honest with you, I'm one that's leaning towards him getting it done, but I think he don't get it done until later in his career. It's going to slow down eventually.
Oh yeah, it's going to slow down.
It's got to. If it don't, man, we got a problem.
I think once Lamar breaks through, now you got a real problem.
And then you still got to watch Josh Allen.
That's right.
Joe Burrow.
That's right.
Who may be coming up through the pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right.
And then, like you said, the coaching factor. Then, look at how much Travis Kelce fell off this year. You have no other real weapon.
Yeah, he's almost done.
Yeah,
he's on his last legs.
34, 35. Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, he's on his last legs.
So they're going to have to get something as far as weapons moving quick, or that pace is really going to slow down. Because, Bruce, remember, we said this all the time this past year. Well, at least I remember telling you this. Every week, the Chiefs are winning by a touchdown or less.
Yeah.
And it's coming out to some fluke call or some fluke play. Eventually, the magic's going to run out.
Yeah, no, I remember you say that. I remember you said that. The only pushback I had, if you remember, I always said, to me, when you see a team consistently winning those close games like that, it shows how they can find a way to win, especially if they could do it on multiple different fronts. They could get a block kick, they could get an interception, they can score on a late drive, they can win on a field goal. Like right. So, I think
I know about that one.
Right. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But you got anything else, man? I gotta take one more call before we move on to the last topic.
I might be back on the line later. I'm in here. I'm on the show tonight.
No doubt. I appreciate you, B.
He's up for that Lakers talk, though, bro. About the Wizards, baby.
I didn't even say anything.
No. Transform me. We good. I appreciate the call, B.
You're I'll bait in a minute.
Appreciate the call, B. No, we good. Steve, go ahead. Last call on this topic. Steve, call us, man. Oh, I know you.
I mean,
was that in-season tournament champion?
No. That's the 2020.
Oh, bubble champion.
It's real say NBA
bubble champion. Right. Because I get you one of those that's green and white. I get you one of those.
I'll burn it.
Steve, what's good, man? How you doing?
Good, Bruce. What's happening, fellas? What's up, Transformer?
What's cracking?
Not much, man. I don't have a whole bunch, but I did want to add a little context to the actual topic. I know we've gone everywhere. But as far as the GOAT debate, is it over? I would have to say yes. I haven't heard anybody touch on this, but as great as Mahomes is, I don't see how he could pass Brady at this point. And mainly it's because I think the head-to-head, I mean, he lost to Brady in a Super Bowl, and he lost to Brady in an AFC championship, if I'm not mistaken.
In overtime, yeah.
Brady's still with New England. So it's like the playoff head-to-head versus those two. Brady owns him and has the ring. And the one thing that we talked about was, like, if perhaps won this last Super Bowl, that would give him the three-peat, which would give him one metric that Brady doesn't have. I don't see him coming back with another 2 or 3-peat again in his career. Can he win another 1 or 2? Sure.
Right.
But at this point, it's like Brady has the head-to-head on him, beat him in a Super Bowl. How can you say someone's better than Brady when Brady beat them? I think Brady's undefeated against them in the playoffs.
2-0.
So that's the one metric I haven't heard anybody touch on, and I'm trying to reason, like, how could Mahomes, like, if Mahomes were to somehow get 8 Super Bowls, 7 or 8, then maybe the discussion comes back up again.
Right.
But back to your point with Andy Reid's longevity, is that possible? I don't know.
I don't think so.
So I kind of think this loss, nothing against Pat, he can still have a great career, still win more.
Top 5.
But I just don't know how you would surpass Brady with the metric of, like, the head-to-head playoff record. I don't think he's beaten Brady in the playoffs. I'm not 100% on that.
I mean, would you still count that against him so early in his career?
You have to.
Okay. I was just asking.
That's what I was going to say, though. Like, you almost have to transform because the guy he has to surpass is the guy he couldn't beat. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes this. So, like, let's say Pat ends with, like, let's say he ties Brady. Let's say he does get to 7. Say he wins 4 more. So then we're having the GOAT debate again. And then to me, at least this is why I brought it up. It's hard for me to say, oh, well, Mahomes is better than Brady. But then it's like, well, yeah, it was early in his career, but it was at the end of Brady's career when you could say he may have not been in his prime. He still beat Mahomes in an AFC championship while in New England and then in the Super Bowl while at Tampa Bay. So it's like, this is like when we have these GOAT conversations in basketball. And we've talked about before, it's like the devil's in the details. It's like when we're talking of the greatest, you have to go, like, with a fine-tooth comb and go through every metric because it's that finite because it's just a singular title achievement. Like, the GOAT is the GOAT, not plural. So
Right.
It's like if we're going to have this GOAT conversation between Mahomes and Brady, I would think even if Mahomes ties Brady, you're still going to have to come back with that fine-tooth comb and say, well, is he better than Brady when he never beat Brady? That's how I'm looking at it. In the one metric that we were all talking about leading up to the Super Bowl was, like, Well, a three-peat changes things. That's one thing Brady never did, and that's kind of out the window now. Could it happen again? Sure. Very unlikely.
Highly unlikely. Right.
Okay, I got a question for you. How many MVPs does Tom Brady have?
3.
I think
Three.
3.
How many does Patrick Mahomes have?
2.
2 right now.
Okay, so this is just a question. This is not me coming back at you guys. If Patrick Mahomes was to tie, let's just say tie 6, 7 championships, 7 Super Bowls, and he has 5 MVPs and some other records and accolades, do we still hold him losing to Tom against him when everything else statistically he's better than him in? Like, okay, we got the same amount of championships, but now I'm separating myself because I have one more MVPs. I've been told I'm the better player more times than you are throughout your career. Would that change the conversation?
I think it can.
Not to me.
Well, to be fair, I think it can. But this is where I would say, then then we have to go to a subjective metric. How are we going to place value? Are we going to place the value on 1 or 2 more MVPs over head-to-head records? So it becomes a subjective value system. Would one place more value on the fact that Brady beat Mahomes both times in the playoffs, or would you place more value on the metric of regular season MVP? So it's like, can it change the conversation? Sure. But is it a definitive, concrete yes? You know what I'm saying? But it's like, where do you put your value system? Because you're going to have one camp, which I would probably argue, even still, if he were to tie Brady with 7 championships, and let's say he has 4 MVPs, has one more, I would still counter. It's like, again, if we're going to have the GOAT conversation with a fine-tooth comb, it's like, I'll grant that extra MVP, and I would agree that's a metric on the home side. Like that's a notch on his belt pro Mahomes. Well, then you still have to say, well, the notch on Brady's belt would be he beat Mahomes head to head. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, how much value do you place on those subjective metrics?
I would say the MVP should weigh more, because it's not really the same discussion if I'm a younger player and I only got the opportunity to face this guy at the tail end of his career and his prime. Like, I wouldn't weigh that so much against him. It's not like Tom and Patrick Mahomes or Tom and Eli, where they battled each other. Like, they had the opportunity and Tom was just stopping Eli the entire way through. Then I can kind of hold it against Tom. I mean, not Eli. What's his name? Peyton. Jesus Christ. Hold it against Peyton. Like, damn, you guys got the same accolades, but Tom just kept stopping you. Like, the amount of times that Pat and Tom really saw each other were very, very early in Patrick Mahomes' career and at the tail end of Tom's. So I don't think it's going to hold that much value by the end of the day, because it wasn't like they were in the league at the same time for the longevity of it, for the long haul, right? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say it holds that much value, because their time differences are just, that's like saying, like, for me, like Kobe losing to Jordan, like when he first got in the league, he's like, okay, but like, you're young, you're learning. Michael Jordan is already Michael Jordan, but then now, after all is said and done, we're trying to, place the record like, oh, Jordan did beat Kobe 5 times when Kobe was 19 years old, but Kobe really didn't have the opportunity to play him in his prime. Like, I wouldn't prime Kobe yet. I can make that same case for Patrick Mahomes. Like, it's so early in his career. Like, are we really going to weigh him on the same scale as an elite Hall of Fame Tom Brady and a Patrick Mahomes finding his way in the league?
I hear that, and to play devil's advocate, I would agree with what you're saying. I think that's a very good point. But to play devil's advocate, you could also then say, well, how can you have? I would call this a double standard, where it's like we're going to give Patrick maybe a slide because he was younger and beginning in his career, but we also give Patrick praise because he was elite in winning championships so young in his career too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, way I logically try to look, I would say, well, you can't have it both ways. You can't use his youth as a scapegoat, but then use his early success and eliteness as a praise factor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because then you could use the same argument. Somebody in the Brady camp would say, well, listen, Brady was undefeated in playoffs against Pat Mahomes, and Brady was at the end of his career. He was old. It wasn't even prime Brady. That's where I'm saying, like, it's a subject, just to play devil's advocate.
I got you.
But you could always, and see, this is what, that's what makes these conversations so fun, because perspective it's a hell of a thing. One perspective could say, you know, Brady wasn't at his elite form towards the end of his career. Now, some might say, hey, Steve, you're wrong. He was winning Super Bowls still. And I think I'd grant that. But at the same grace, it's like, if I'm going to hear the argument of Pat Mahomes being young in his career and navigating, well, then I could very easily say, well, Brady was at the end of his career and he wasn't in his prime. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it just becomes, it all comes down to these subjective viewpoints, which are fair. And I think it's good to kind of like logically work through them, because I would honestly, I would agree with you. Let's say he ties Brady and has one more MVP. Hell, I'll grant 2 more MVPs. Let's say he has 5 MVPs in seven Super Bowls. I still think it depends on what value you would place on a head-to-head. Because if we're going to say Pat Mahomes is better than Brady, one would always be able to pull out their pocket and say, well, he never beat Brady, though. And Brady did beat Mahomes in his Super Bowl. So I could understand why somebody would argue for Brady in that perspective. Not saying somebody who would argue for Mahomes with those accolades would be wrong, but I don't think it's clear cut, if that makes sense.
I like it.
There you go.
I just feel like
that was a great fucking take. That was a great take.
I just feel like the likelihood at this point for Mahomes to win 7 now, and I think Bruce made a really good point earlier in the conversation. And then I know it went into a meta conversation of coaches like Belichick to Brady and Reed to Mahomes. I know we were getting into it in the chat, where it's like, I get it. Mahomes is elite. Brady is the GOAT. They were, they have to be the signal callers. They have to be making the plays that are called by the coach. So it's like, yes, I would give an advantage to the player. But to detract from the coach, going back to Reed without Mahomes, we don't know what Mahomes will be without Reed. We still saw Brady win a championship without Bill. Now, I don't think calling Bill Belichick garbage and like he was irrelevant in the upcoming of Brady's greatness. That's too extreme for me. I can't. That's kind of crazy, I think. But the likelihood of Mahomes matching the Super Bowl metric of Brady, with Reed's longevity and with him losing this last one, I just don't think it's likely. I think he could win 4 or 5 for sure, but 7, I don't know.
Yeah, 7 is.
I think if they beat Philly this year, I definitely think it's possible.
Right.
Yeah.
Definitely think it's possible. But that I just wanted to bring up the head-to-head thing, because I haven't heard anybody touch on it. And in my worldview, Bruce and I are big college football fans. We have this conversation all the time when it comes to college football, head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big metric when you're going through that fine-tooth comb. Like how are we going to do seeding? Who's ranked higher? So on and so forth. Who in the regular head-to-head to me is a metric that matters.
Definitely.
But I don't mean to prattle on. I know you guys want to keep it pushing, but that was my thoughts on the situation. I think that
was great.
No doubt, Steve. No doubt, man.
Did I
we
lose
lose
you
him?
guys?
No.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
No, we were saying we were saying that was a great call and a great take, man. We
Yeah,
appreciate
that was a very, very great take.
Hey, I appreciate you guys, man. Blessings to both of you.
No doubt.
Absolutely, brother. Big
Oh,
Steve. That was a good one. I like that one.
That was a really good call. Really good look at that. Really good look. I like that. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Alexander X. Hit the like button. Hit the like button, y'all, if you haven't done it already. I appreciate that. All right, let's take it to the final topic of the night, and then we'll go ahead and get out of here. So, man, we know that you like that thumb.
Why you do my man like that?
I didn't do him like that.
Just put the one where he just just put what? AD in like the cross, the red cross next to him. Man,
that's tough.
Yeah, he could have just did that. Like he got my man grimacing, like he grabbed. I mean, we know what he's grabbing for, but you know what I mean? Like, come on, man.
Oh man,
it's crazy work. But no,
crazy work.
AD injured.
Yeah,
boy, what a time!
What a time.
That's tragic. You want to lead that one in?
No, go ahead, man.
All right. So, of course, we know about the big trade of the century that happened with Luka Doncic being traded for Anthony Davis. In a sense, we're just going to call it, just where that is, to the Los Angeles Lakers, and Anthony Davis going to the Dallas Mavericks. And his first game as a Dallas Maverick, boy, did he remind the Lakers what we had. And I mean that in every facet of what we had. AD came out and was a absolute monster. Blocks, points, rebounds, anything, you name it, he's bullying. That was a man on a mission who came into that stadium with the point to say that I'm here. Dallas, you didn't get hoodwinked on this trade. I am going to show you why I'm here. In doing so, in the third quarter of this magnificent basketball game that he was playing, he got injured and left the game and was not going to be able to return. He's not going to be able to return indefinitely. Could be anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks. I'm reading it is a groin strain that he was kind of nursing even before getting, and there goes the injury right there. Oh, no, was that it? No, that wasn't it.
Yeah, that was it.
No, that was it. Yeah, that was it. That he was kind of nursing before playing that game in Dallas. So I guess they wanted to get that trade done and show that he can perform early, and he came out there and did what he did. So AD is now hurt. With that being said, they did have a center by the name of Gafford, who was now also hurt. So now Dallas Mavericks are without their first three bigs. They're in big trouble. See, I like what you did there. You did a great job. Anthony Davis, Gafford, and Lively are now all three out for the foreseeable future. I would say 2 to 3 weeks for Anthony Davis. Gafford could be around that same range. I think it was a knee sprain is what they're calling it. But boy, are they in trouble? Are the Dallas Mavericks in trouble? I know they're playing Golden State right now. Last time I checked, they are up by 3. But do you think that they're in trouble?
They're in huge trouble, man. They're in huge trouble. And not just for right now, but seemingly for the future, because obviously what they gave up in order to get Anthony Davis, and this is a guy who has unfortunately had a lot of injuries, man. Even though I think he played like 75, 76 games last year.
Yeah,
but on the whole, man, he just, and I don't think it's because he doesn't want to put the work in. Just some dudes aren't built the same way. Like, obviously the work helps, but some dudes just aren't built that way. Like LeBron clearly puts in the work, but also he's got the right genetics that have, been with him the whole way. Mm-hmm. So of course I'm not going to denigrate all the time. Like Karl Malone didn't really get hurt until the very end, right? Because he put in the work and he had the genetics. Some dudes have it, some dudes don't, man. And unfortunately, AD appears to be one of those dudes that doesn't. And it's tough, man, because to your point, he came out and had 24 and 12 in the first half, something like that.
Very, very quick.
Annihilating them. You could tell he's like, okay, y'all with all
he's
this
yelled, "I'm here, I'm here."
Right.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make y'all forget him. You know what I'm saying? And so that's really tough, man. That's really tough.
It's hard to forget your franchise holder. That's a little tough. It's a little tough to forget that guy, but yeah, I agree with you. They are in very, 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 very big trouble.
Yeah.
Currently, without your defense, both of your defensive anchors is going to cause a lot of problems up in the middle. You brought AD there. The point from Nico Collins and making this trade, they wanted to be better defensively. Wink, wink. I'm just going to leave that there. They wanted to be better defensively. So getting Anthony Davis is a huge piece of that, and losing that on top of losing Gafford when you're already down your first center and Derek Lively. Oh man, that's tough. That's going to be tough to fight for, especially since it's the groin. You can pull that again at any moment. Not sure if anybody injured their groin before or their adductor is what it's called, what it's labeled as, that strain. You pivot wrong, you turn wrong, you slide, or you try to catch yourself or something like that, you feel it immediately. So with that happening, not only to Anthony Davis, to any player, it's troublesome. But to Anthony Davis, you're like, damn it. Because I mean, he's known for having the freakiest accidents out of thin air. Like if you look at the play, he did nothing wrong. He just took a sidestep, and that happened. So it's another freak injury by Anthony Davis. It's kind of tough, man. But yeah, they're going to be without him for about 2 to 4 weeks, is what I'm reading. I think they're going to reevaluate him at the 2-week mark and actually get a finite timeline, but it's not going to be looking good for them. Looking good for them boys. It is not at all.
Yeah, that's tough, man. I don't even know what to say. It's just, oh man, like obviously, the street clothes thing and AD obviously being kind of ridiculed for always being injured. He did everything he could last year, played out of his mind, played a ton of games, And then this shit, the first game, the first game, he didn't even make it through the first game. He was killing. That's the worst part. He was killing. I feel really bad. Not only, who I feel real bad for? Nico Harrison. I did a quick hit talking about how they,
how did that go, by the way?
Mavericks fans, it went.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Mavericks fans are out here threatening this man's life. I can't even imagine how bad.
Which is out of pocket.
It's very out of pocket.
That's out of pocket. Like you're a fan, sort of fanatic.
Yeah, that's
but Jesus Christ. They play basketball for our entertainment.
Yeah,
this is a game of entertainment.
Correct.
To be threatening somebody's life or family over it is just asinine. It's just, there's no excuse for it. There's no reasoning for it. There's no place for it.
Correct.
It's just nasty and just outright ugly. You could be upset all you want. You can boo all you want.
Right.
You can not go to the games. You can not buy tickets. You can not buy jerseys. You can do all that. You have the right to do that. But to want to threaten somebody's family over a basketball trade or a basketball move is just, nah. That's just not cool at all, man.
Total degenerates, man. Total degenerates. Not cool at all. It's just tough, man. I feel so bad for AD because I know he's thinking, man, I'm cursed. I was out here killing and this happened. Like
I was putting foots in them.
Foots.
I had 24 and 12 early. I was about to put up a 40, possible 50 piece on these boys. To let y'all know, like,
knowing people, like, yeah.
Like, this is me. Like, this is what y'all traded for.
This is what y'all got. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm coming.
Realize, right. Yeah. So that's
like, y'all don't have to boo Nico Collins no more. Trust me, I'm gonna get y'all right. Come on. Make something out of that. This boy.
Yeah, that's tough, man.
Dalton Connect. Jesus Christ, Dalton Connect. How you do that?
Oh man. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that topic, man, because it's tough, man, and I feel really, really freaking bad for AD, man. I do. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Yeah, I mean, granted, do I feel bad for a multimillionaire? No, I don't. But
he's
thinking
still
about the
firstborn,
sport, the sport that he wants to play,
Mhm.
that he just, it's his body leaving him. It's not even
Mhm.
like, because I mean, you can see his work when he's on the floor. AD is he's a killer. He's out there. He's going to give you a A+ effort. On the glass, defensively, he's a problem. He can get you points. He can do everything. He has a dribble, 7-footer with a dribble. But it's just one of those instances where, like I said, the man just stepped to the side. That's all he did. He just stepped. It wasn't like he jumped. He didn't explode. He didn't. So his foot didn't slide from underneath him. He didn't get tripped. He didn't hit the ground. He literally took a step. A step. Not even a step back. Just a side.
Nope.
Step back, maybe, but man took a step, man. But yeah, you feel bad for him, man. I want to see. I definitely wanted to see him. We played him February the 26th, I believe, sometime soon. So now, obviously, they're going to be without AD. They're going to be without Gafford. I think I last read that Gafford won't be reevaluated until like another 2 weeks. He's sustained the right knee sprain, so he's going to be out for a while. And like I said, AD is to miss multiple weeks and potentially up to a month with that strain. So I don't see them returning to play in that basketball game.
Right.
So yeah, man, it's very unfortunate, man. It's definitely very unfortunate for those guys to lose two in the next two games. Your first two games, you make this trade, you lose Anthony Davis and Gafford. Yeah,
nightmare, absolute nightmare. Well, we're gonna leave it right there, man. I don't even think we need to open the lines for this one, right?
No, because then it's gonna make me talk about my Lakers, and I don't want to talk.
Yep, we don't want that.
We getting smacked.
All right, we're gonna leave it there, y'all. Thanks so much for right. Appreciate y'all, man. Hit that like on the way out of here, y'all. Really, we need that. If you haven't already, make sure you just click that like and subscribe button, man. It means a lot to us. Helps the show to spread and get out to more people.
Helps us rise in the algorithm. Helps more sports fans find us.
There you go. But seriously, thank you for everybody who joined me tonight. I appreciate y'all. And we will be back. I don't know. I might have something before Saturday, but definitely Sunday morning though.
Sunday morning, there you
God
go.
willing. Yeah, but I might have something before that, so we'll see. But y'all have a great night. Be safe out there, and we out. Peace.